game, Draisaitl, if there was ever a team that he could use to get back on track, it would be the Nashville Predators, because Leon Draisaitl basically dominates the Preds to the level that we really haven't seen from anybody else. Leon Draisaitl, and it's not just Nashville, I should point out. Like, there is no player currently, even Connor McDavid, in the NHL who dominates teams to the level that Leon Draisaitl has over the past 7 years. So we'll explain it in a sec, and keep that in mind when you get to playalberta.ca if you're looking for a little fun on the game tonight. Playalberta.ca. Of course, you can get odds boost for the Jason Gregor show, and well, it's the Lotto Max $50 million up for grabs tonight. Playalberta.ca. So when you look at Leon Draisaitl, there are two players in the NHL who have averaged and played at least 15 games, scored 30 points, and averaged over 2 points a game against a team. McDavid's done it against Nashville and Anaheim. Draisaitl's done it against 4 teams: Nashville, Seattle, Anaheim, and Chicago. He's got 2.6 points per game in his last 15 games against Nashville, 2.27 against Seattle with 34 and 15, 33 and 16 versus Anaheim, and 33 and 16 versus Chicago. There's only one player in the NHL who is averaging over a goal per game in the same parameters: Leon Draisaitl. He's got 16 goals in 15 games versus the Ducks, and he has 21 goals in his last 15 games versus the Nashville Predators. 21 goals in 15 games. He dominates against the Preds. Now, no surprise, in those 15 games, the Edmonton Oilers are 13-1-1 against the Preds. Since 1920, they've dominated them, and it's been led by Leon Draisaitl. So they will hope, they being the Oilers, that that continues tonight, as they want to get back on track, want to avoid losing 3 straight on home ice. That is obviously not something that they want. So we'll see what the Oilers have in store tonight. Connor Ingram looking for a bounce back game. Kasperi Kapanen, first game of the season. First game since October 19th. 7th game of the season, but first in almost 3 months for him. So that is it's a good sign. He'll start the game with Draisaitl and Podkolzin. Meanwhile, McDavid will play with Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. And, of course, you have Henrique centering Roslovic and Howard, and Lazar between Janmark and Matt Savoy, Trent Frederic, and Mangiapane, Riley Stillman. They will be the healthy scratch tonight. Calvin Pickard's a backup. Meanwhile, the Nashville Predators, not sure exactly what their lineup's going to be. They did go 11-7 against the Calgary Flames on Saturday, got a victory in that game. And when you look at the Preds, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. A big improvement has been their power play. In their first 31 games, it was 17.3%. In their last 10 games, it's 30.8%. And what's interesting is in their first 31 games, Jonathan Marchessault led them in power play goals with 4. Not great. The power play wasn't very good. He's been injured. He's only played a game and then 5 minutes of the second game and got injured. Basically hasn't been on the power play for 9 straight games, and their power play is rolling. It's just an interesting kind of dynamic on the Preds power play right now, that it's better without Marchessault, who was their leading guy. So we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. That's where you can text us. Today on the show, Alex Zordi will join us, talk about the Preds and the turnaround. And how about this for the Preds? Like, the Oilers can't take them lightly. Suddenly, the Nashville Predators are right in the race in the for the wild card spot. You've got the Kings and the Ducks, because the Seattle Kraken won again last night. They're 7-2-1. They're actually 7-0-1 in their last 8 games. And they're suddenly 1 point back in the Oilers. And Vegas for first in the division. So Vegas, 46. Edmonton, 46. Seattle, 45. Anaheim, 45. San Jose, 43. So it's close. It's a little bit of a turtle race, but it's still close. 6 teams separated by 3 points. Then you throw in Nashville's got 42 points. So they're 3 back of the Ducks with the game in hand for the second wildcard spot. Utah's in that mix with 43, as are the Blues with 42. Vancouver is the only team in the Pacific without 40 points, and them and the Jets are the only 2 teams in the West without 40 points at 37 for Vancouver and 34 for the Winnipeg Jets. And we'll see, like, what are those two? Are the could the Jets sell off? Like, I want Vancouver. I think we know what they're doing, but the Winnipeg Jets, like, I don't know if they can just go in a big rebuild. Scheifele signed till 2031. Gabe Vilardi signed till 2031. Kyle Connor signed till 2034. You've got Neil Pionk re-signed 2031. Morrissey is a free agent after the 20. He's got 2 more years after this. Dylan Sandberg, DeMello, all of them. Connor Hellebuck signed until 2031. But they got all their guys signed. So, you could look to say, hey, Gustav Nyquist, who's just been a disaster in Winnipeg this year. It's not worked out. It's like all of a sudden he turned 36 and the lights went out. And he can't compete at this level. Adam Lowry, another guy, signed till 2031. He just signed that extension for 4 years. So, is anybody taking Jonathan Taves? Are they taking Nemestikov? Are they taking a Nino Niederreiter? Maybe. But I'll be very interested to see what the Jets do. Do they just look to say, okay, let's try to retool here? And I don't think you can go full rebuild with all the guys you got. They're just having a terrible season. It happens. Maybe if they think there's somebody who's really dead weight in the contract, then try to get rid of them. Otherwise, I think they just got to look to say, I don't know what happened, but we'll figure it out and come back. We got Hellebuck. Like, I don't think Connor Hellebuck's game has completely fallen off the map yet. So, but it's a unique situation to see a team go from the President's Trophy to the basement in the National Hockey League. Like, it is absolutely wild stuff. Kurt Hill, the GM of the Oil Kings, is going to join us. Lots of trades. Of course, the WHL trade deadline's right around the corner here in a few days, and teams are wheeling and dealing, including the Edmonton Oil Kings. TR will be by. Mike Wilner is going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit about the Jays. Big free agent signing. Infielder. And what does it mean? Is it bye-bye Bo Bichette? Are they out on Turner? What's happening? They got a lot of bodies. Like, if they sign one of these guys, somebody else got to go. Josh Dubell will be by. We're going to talk some NFL later on, specifically that 49ers matchup. Strutty, Spec, DVD. We got Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning. So we got a loaded show for you today here on The Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to your text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. I think we probably could address this, one other time, because, I saw again yesterday, all these people and everybody's jumping up in their pulpit. Team Canada, World Juniors hockey, we're in ruins. Now, everybody can have their emotion, because most people don't ever take the time to actually see if what they're saying matches what's actually happened. So Canada has gone 3 years without being in the gold medal game. It's not the first time it happened, right? The last time it happened was 2012, 2013, 2014. Canada had lost they won in 2009, then they lost the gold medal game in 10 and 11. And want to remember that one, 2010 was in Canada, then they lost in Buffalo to the U.S. and to Russia. Close games. Then they bronze medal team in 2012 and lost the bronze in 13 and 14. So they still medaled once, but didn't get to the gold medal game 3 years in a row. Then they won it in 15, lost in 17, won it in 18, won it in 20. But what's interesting is, remember, I know, because people are like, yeah, we used to win all the time. Yeah, well, not all the time. They remember when they won 5 in a row from 1993 to 1997? But then they didn't win for 7 consecutive seasons. And then they followed that up by winning 5 years in a row again. So it's very up and down. If you want to have a conversation about minor hockey, I think we can have the conversation. But it has to be one where, can we ask a lot of questions? Because I see a lot of people, cost is a big factor. Yeah, well, cost is a big factor for everything. If you want to go traveling now, it's ridiculous. If you want to go grocery store shopping, it's ridiculous. Everything's expensive now. Way more than ever. Housing market, everything's gone up, right? It sucks, but it's true. But if you look overall at hockey, and I looked up the registration numbers through Hockey Canada. And, oh, by the way, that doesn't include players that are playing in HSL and other places, which we can get in a whole conversation about that. And how Hockey Canada, as a governing body, acts like petulant children at times is beyond me. But nonetheless. So 2011 had the highest year of registration for, and I'm using boys because the girl numbers have gone, through the roof here lately. Awesome. So way more girls are playing. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, but the boys' numbers are down. But that's misleading because people will base it on 2011. Now, what happened? Guess what? You know what? The Olympics happened. And Canada won in their own country. And there was lots of 2010, 2011 season where there was a big increase in registration. It's not surprising. Right? Kids are like, oh, my God, we saw it. You're watching the games. I'm really excited. People, and that was the high mark. And then it basically stayed a little bit less and flat. Then, of course, COVID hit. And the numbers plummeted. But back in 2023, they got back to the pre-pandemic numbers. And they basically stayed there. So when people say the numbers are down, they're basing it on the high mark of 2011, which is, I think, a little misleading. Number one. Number two. If you're going to claim that Hockey Canada isn't developing properly, and that's why we don't win at the U20s, that shows me that you're not really paying attention, because development is not just at 18 and 19. I think it's at 15 and 16 and 17, right? And, let's look back. U17. 2024, we won gold. In 2025 at U17, Canada won gold and silver. We had 2 teams in. We've always had 2 teams at the U17 World Challenge. Some years we've had 3. Canada won gold and silver. No other team had multiple teams registered. Canada had 2, and they won gold and silver. U18s, gold in 2024, gold in 2025. Now, what changed from U17 to U18 to U20? I can tell you what changed. 3 letters. NHL. Macklin Celebrini. Matthew Schaefer. Ben Kindle. Dickinson. Catton. Go down the list. There's 6 guys currently playing the NHL, and the Penguins have another young player. Right? They got to make a decision on him. He's played 9 games. Right? So there's 7 guys that would have played at U18, would have played at U17, but they're not eligible in the 20 team. Now, Canada's still pretty deep. And we went 6-1 at the World Juniors this year. Just happened to lose in the semifinal. It doesn't mean there has to be an overhaul. It doesn't mean we're not developing players. It's false, because all the other numbers show it. Too many people focus on one tournament and then try to make a grandioso comment and statement coming from it. Oh, these 7 games represent minor hockey. What? 98% of minor hockey players are never playing at the World Juniors. Actually, probably close to 99.9. Right? And guess what? There's lots of guys who go on to the NHL who don't play at World Juniors. Lots. Because you can only have a team of 13 forwards and 8 defense. That's all you got. So you don't have a ton of players there. So you pick them, and some years you win, some years you don't win. We won 5 in a row, then lost 7, and then won 5 in a row. The last time We didn't play in the gold medal game 3 years in a row. As I mentioned, it was 12, 13, 14. Did we make drastic changes in 2015? No. But people got on their, you know what? If I actually cared enough, and I don't, to go back and look, lots of the same people wanting to try to start some big, controversy and, we're a terrible producing nation now and everybody's caught up. Of course they've caught up. Well, they haven't caught up. They have, the gap is smaller. And that's actually good for hockey. You want more competitive games. And there's a lot of underlying arrogance with insecurity when you think if your country doesn't win, that it's a travesty and now we got to point blame rather than say, geez, you know what? The other team played well. Czechia played well. Full stop. Now, not well enough to win. Sweden beat them in the finals. Good game. Canada beat Finland in the semifinal. It's a good game. Right? Czechia and Canada, I think both ended up being 6-1 in the tournament. Right? But anybody who plays in a minor hockey tournament can tell you, if you lose the wrong game, your chances of gold are out the window. Right? We're coming up on Edmonton Minor Hockey Week. Might get a tough matchup. Maybe one game, you get unlucky. Maybe you get to overtime and you lose in 2-on-2 or 1-on-1. Does that mean your season's over? Oh my God, we're not developing players? No, it's a short tournament. Things happen. Sometimes really good, sometimes bad. Of course you want Canada to win. You can say you want Canada to win. But to say that we lost the tournament, even though we dominated U17 and U18 in the same period, that we're not developing, it makes no sense. It makes zero sense. The numbers say no. Canada just lost. And then they bounced back and won the bronze. Good for them. And one last thing about the minor hockey, because people complain, you know what? There's lots of pressure on it. Pressure, lots of the times, comes more internal than anywhere else. And I see it all the time. I hear it all. You know how many people ask me how my nephew got to the NHL? There's no answer. Right? He had some good genetics. That helps. Right? His dad was a really good athlete. His mom, they actually did a body movement test. She actually moved better. Right? She had thicker legs than Gregor clan, that's for sure. Right? So it helped him. He's a little bow-legged. So there's a little genetics in there. That helps you in your skating stance. Strong. Now, right? Worked on it. Didn't ever play spring hockey. But played lots of different sports. And hey, and it's hard. And he's not a star in the NHL. He's in the NHL. It's unreal. But it's hard to stay there. There's, you know what? For the most part, injury-free. Broke a collarbone 1 year in junior. That sucked. And I'll say this. He actually had to deal with adversity. I think that gets overlooked by a lot of people. Adversity is a good thing. But there's too many parents and coaches and associations and people that think, oh my goodness, my son can't have adversity. Because the minute they have adversity, if they get cut from a team, wow, might as well quit. Right? And mom and dad get all, because some of the people that complain, I think they don't even recognize the part of the problem is from themselves. You're the one putting all the pressure on it. You're like, well, geez, somehow my child's athletic success will make me look like a better parent. No, it won't. Because most people don't care. Most people don't care if your son or daughter's good at hockey, good at basketball, good at soccer. They're like, good for you. It's great. And I always say this to parents. So you get that wrapped up and I got to put him in this camp and I got to put him in this camp. And I say, okay, how many tutoring camps have you put your kid in for school? And they're like, what? None. I'm like, well, why? Well, I want him to do good in sports. Do you want him to do good in school? Because if you want him to increase their chances of being good in sports, wouldn't you want them to increase their chances in school? So why don't you get a tutor? Why don't you spend extra money on all these other things? Lots of people get sucked into the vortex of feeling they got to keep up with the Joneses. When all the scientific data still tells us hockey is a late developing sport. And you can put all your eggs in a basket at 8, 9, and 10 and freak out and have them on traveling teams. And if you want to, go knock your socks off, but don't complain about it because it's your choice to do it. And the data, if you take a second to actually go look at it, will tell you you don't need to. I can tell you, I've seen it coaching minor hockey. Kids who are the best in the team at 8 or 9, they're not the best at 12 or 13 anymore. And you know what's really disappointing about that is people get so caught up in the status of I'm a AA player, I'm a AAA player, I'm a tier 1 player, that if you all of a sudden aren't a tier 1 player 2 years later, because the other kids have grown and other kids have caught up, now the kid doesn't like hockey and everyone's like, oh yeah, it's the system. No, it isn't. It's because you as a parent allow that pressure to build. You can remind them it doesn't matter where you play. Are you having fun? Are you enjoying it? Are you getting better? If the answer is yes, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter where you play unless you believe it does. And then if you put that out there, then don't blame the system because you're the one who's caught up in the system and you have a choice. You have a choice. There's lots of options now. You can go play in your association team. You can go play in HSL. You can go play in other leagues. There's lots of choices. But you don't have to go to either one of them. Kids can make it from lots of different ways. Right now, some might end up, having to go to the academy route. Sure, that's fine. But that's a choice. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Because if the kid is that talented and is that good, they'll continue to be good. Right? Get them reps. Let them play. Let them play unscripted hockey at young ages. Right? I get tired sometimes listening to Canadians who claim on one hand they're proud to be Canadians. And then the minute something goes wrong, oh my God, we didn't win the gold medal 3 years in a row. Our whole program stinks. It reeks of insecurity to me. I don't like it. Our programs are fine. They're not perfect because nothing's perfect. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Well, things are close to perfect. Leon Draisaitl, over 2 points a game, 39 points in 15 games. That's pretty good against the Nashville Predators over a 6.5-year span. No player in the NHL has dominated a team more than Draisaitl has in that time. He'll try to continue that tonight. We'll discuss it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business, get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email, Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing. Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
No, things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter. From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian and 69-cent wings. Plus, play score and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.228, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. I hope you are having an awesome Tuesday. Of course, you can get in on $50 million tonight, maybe. PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max and 2 Max Millions. So check it out. You can also look at, we have a few specials on the Oilers game tonight, including Draisaitl, who has 39 points, 21 goals in his last 15 games against the Preds. That spans 6.5 seasons since the start of the 2019-20 season. No player in the NHL has dominated a team to that level. Draisaitl has actually dominated 4 different teams where he's averaged over 2 points a game in that time. The only other guy to do that, McDavid's done it against 2 teams. And the Oilers are hoping Draisaitl's dominance and their own, they're 13-1-1 in their last 15 against the Preds, will continue as Edmonton tries to avoid losing 3 straight at home and 3 straight overall. Meanwhile, the Preds playing their best hockey of the season, winners of 7 of their last 10 games. They have got themselves in the wild card race, and it's time to talk a little NHL as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where stop in right now at McD's, the double cheesy melt. Limited time, it's arrived. It all comes together. You don't just eat it, you melt into it. Limited time, only at McDonald's. As Alex Doherty joins us, beat reporter from the Tennessean. And Alec, I know Oiler fans, Draisaitl specifically, he gets excited. The Preds, it's odd. Like, the Preds have been a pretty good team, but Draisaitl just kind of beats him up for fun. It's very strange.
Yeah, I've been watching that over the last several years. His entire career against the Nashville Predators has been pretty incredible to watch, actually. I mean, I think he shoots like 33% against Nashville. Oh, that's over like 30 games.
Yeah.
So like one out of every 3 shots goes in for Draisaitl against Nashville, and I think a lot of those are on the road too. I feel like he's done it a lot in Nashville specifically. I know that's in Edmonton tonight, but yeah, that's always it's like comical at times, where it's just like you are almost guaranteed to see a couple of points from him every night against Nashville, and at least a couple 1 or 2 goals. So I mean, I would say that I think that this is about the only time of the season when Nashville feels like they probably have a little better chance. They're actually playing decent right now. They've been winning some games, but I feel like anytime the Predators go up against the Oilers, it does not stack up well against for Nashville, just from a matchup standpoint. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is. Some teams are just good matchups or bad, depending on which side of the ledger on. Edmonton's like, we love them playing Nashville. I'm sure the Preds are like, we don't love it. But the Preds are playing their best hockey right now. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Steven Stamkos has 6 goals in his last 8 games. I did find it interesting. In their first 31 games, the Preds' power play was 17%. Jonathan Marchessault led him in power play goals with 4. In their last 10 games, he's only played in basically one of them because he got hurt in the second game of that stretch. And their power play is now 30.8%. Why has the injury to Marchessault somehow helped their power play?
Yeah, it's really interesting, actually. And I'd say that there's things outside of just the power play that have looked better. But since we're talking about the power play specifically, I think that they really have had a problem since they got Stamkos and Marchessault. They've really had a problem with the righty-lefty situation because with Forsberg, Marchessault, and Stamkos, they have 3 right-handed shooters all in the power play. And they've only got 2 lefties, really, with O'Reilly and Yossi. And I think that they just couldn't figure out the math of it, if that makes sense. Like the geometry just kind of didn't add up. You obviously want Stamkos on the left circle, but then where do you put Marchessault and Forsberg? Forsberg can play in the front of the net, but he's really better as a shooter. And Marchessault is kind of better, on the perimeter but also creating some space in front of the net. Once they had to figure out something else, they kind of were forced to switch things around. They even put, Nick Blankenburg on the top unit instead of Yossi when Yossi was not in there. And the second unit has been better since Blankenburg got some work on the power play because he's manning the second unit now. And I think Blankenburg is actually a really good second unit power play quarterback up there. Really passes well, doesn't look to shoot all the time. Really just finds guys that are open. I think that's been the biggest thing is that they had to reconfigure some things, and they started getting some results from both units. I still think they have issues there. They still don't play with a lot of speed. They don't play with a lot of speed at 5-on-5 either, but they don't play with a lot of speed on the power play, so they can't. It's tough for them to enter the zone. That's one thing Marchessault was good at, is entering the zone with speed and controlling the puck and then getting set up. Once they get set up, though, they find ways, and I think that is a big part of why why they've suddenly crept back into the wild card spot or wild card chase here halfway through the season.
Yeah, they've crept back in now. It's, there's all these teams in the wild card race. And so sometimes I wonder if it's like misleading for a lot of the teams or not. And like the Predators, when your best players start playing better and producing, magically you win more, right? So Steven Stamkos, who wasn't doing much, starts scoring, they win. UC Saros numbers become a little bit better, they win. So there's Ryan O'Reilly's a point a game player in the 10-game stretch. It really helps. Is this a blip, or what have you seen in the 10 games that makes you think that they could, continue to be a team that can, be over 500 in 10-game stretches?
I think the fact that the underlying process, their expected goals and their shot attempts and everything have looked better too. It suggests that it's not just smoke and mirrors. It's not just getting puck luck. They're nowhere near where Colorado is, where Dallas is, or even Minnesota or Edmonton or even probably Vegas. Like they aren't that level, but I think they're probably a top 15 team in terms of like offense if they have everyone going, which sounds, to a lot of teams out there sounds pretty bad. But I mean, if you told Predators fans that they'd have a top 15 offense this year after last year's being dead last at 32nd, I think that's a huge, huge improvement. And you feel a lot better about that, especially considering you're still doing it with a lot of the older players. So then, what happens in the future next year when you have another couple of young guys coming in like Brady Martin, you have other players that are moving up through Milwaukee. What happens when you get younger guys in the lineup? They're still building that. I mean, that is still part of the future, and the present right now is still just, can you hold on for dear life with these 34, 35-year-olds putting up, 3 or 4 goals a game maybe, and holding on the other end with your defense and goaltending to see if you can get into the playoff chase. A lot of people don't like that. They want them to tank in order to get a top pick. Obviously that's something that every team debates, going into the year if they're not going to be very good. But I think that they don't have any options. Barry Trotz set this up so that he was committed for these next couple years to being a win now team. And now they're finally starting to get some of those wins. What will it lead to in a month? When the trade deadline comes around, if they're still in it, maybe they hold where they're at. They don't sell any pieces. I don't think they're going to be buyers by any stretch, but it certainly made the second half of this season more interesting because I do think that they have created some processes underneath the offense, especially that actually are better than they were at the beginning of the year.
Okay, that's fair. And looking at the Predators, and they kind of last year made the decision that even though they went in the free agency business, that it wasn't working, and they acquired some draft picks and had a lot of draft picks, and it felt like, okay, we're retooling. Do you believe that is still their plan, or are they going to try to retool and make the playoffs at the same time?
I think that's exactly what they want to do. They want to do both at the same time. And remember that Barry Trotz is his third year as a GM. So yeah. I don't think he really truly understands that you can't do that.
No, you can't.
I think he wants to do that, and that's the coach side. He's very much a coach GM right now. I mean, I'm not saying he's coaching the team. I'm just saying he is a coach mindset from the GM desk, and that's so he. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked either if they keep winning. They win 7 of their next 10, 8 of their next 12. He might even consider buying at the deadline and say, you know what, let's go for it. Because that's just who he is. That's the kind of player, that's the kind of a person that Barry Trotz is. I do think that he's going to have a reckoning after this year when, let's say they don't make the playoffs and then they don't get a high pick and they don't get another, game-changing forward in the draft. Then you have to enter the year with all these guys a year older. Yossi is certainly not speeding up. If anything, he's slowing down. You got your goaltender and entering the second year of a very large contract. At that point, what do you do? How do you get rid of some of these moves? Maybe he looks to move, say, a Jonathan Marchessault in the offseason, or maybe he tries to move the Brady Shea contract or something like that to try to see if he can maybe take a step back from the win now part and really commit to building and getting younger. He has always said that he's had two plans at the same time, which never made sense to me. But it's interesting to see him try it and see if he can pull it off. I think that first year when they went to the playoffs after the U2 thing, when they got the U2 concert canceled and then they won 18 or had 18 game point streak, that really, kind of set a precedent for Trotz. I think was kind of dangerous for the future, where he thought, well, we'll just get on another long point streak and make the playoffs and see if we can see what we can do there. So we're watching the learning curve of a new GM in real time right now.
Yeah, well, I love how you said Trotz is still like a coach over a GM, and there is a big difference in how you manage. You can't manage with the mentality like, oh, we can still win all the time. You have to have a plan, and you have to stick with the plan. Your plan can't be like, because you can't be half pregnant, and I don't think you can half rebuild. I just don't think it works.
Yeah, no, I definitely not. And Nashville is in a particular spot where in the Western Conference, but also in the Central Division, like this team is nowhere close to Colorado. They're nowhere close to Dallas. They're probably nowhere close to Minnesota after the Quinn Hughes trade. So they're going to finish no higher than 4th in the Central Division over the next 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, considering how young those teams are and how good stacked they are. And so are you really thinking that you can win now in a division like the Central? And that's not even considering Utah and Winnipeg, who has had a down year. But, I mean, there's nothing in the Central Division that says that Nashville is going to be, on top of Colorado or Dallas anytime soon. Now would be the perfect time to rebuild, see if you can go get Gavin McKenna in the NHL draft next year, or at least see if you can build and add some more prospects by trading Ryan O'Reilly, for example, and get another first round pick to get another crack at a solid young player. This organization has never ever committed to a rebuild. They've never even hinted at it. They always want to just reload and try to see if they can do it again. I think the mid 2010s run of the Stanley Cup playoff in 2017 really just told them like they got that high and they want to keep chasing it, and they don't care what happens in 10 years. They just care about, if we can get to the playoffs this year, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun, and we're gonna get a lot of new fans. And they've never committed to any kind of a tear down and rebuild, and I don't think they ever will.
Well, and that, because I look at Nashville, and hey, I know they had their great run to the Cup, and they've been a pretty competitive team, and they've been great at maybe one of the best organizations at drafting and developing defensemen, but they've never had a game breaker up front. And you know what?
No.
Because How many top 3 picks have you had? Like, God love David Legwand, and he was a really good NHLer, was an elite player. But that's it. Like, you're not, it's hard to find them out there. Like, I like Brady Martin. Do I think he's going to be a top-end offensive player? Hard. He might be a really good player. But and until you to go there, and you probably need a few swings in that spot to be successful long term.
Yeah, and that's what I think that they don't really get. I think the Barry Trotz saw, with you got to also remember as the coach for Washington, he obviously had Ovi, but that team was built through kind of just good free agent moves, some good trades, and some good drafting in the later rounds, right? But they still had Obi at the top as the generational Hall of Fame player. This, Nashville doesn't have that. They won't get it unless they try to tank and get a few high picks. I agree with you on Brady Martin. I think that pick actually makes a little bit more sense when you consider what kind of team they want to be, right? They want to be this like hard to play against kind of team, and I could see him being kind of the future captain of this team, where he's the Ryan O'Reilly of the future kind of thing, which is fine. But I would agree with you. They need a guy that can go out there and score 40 goals and 50 goals a year. They need a guy like a Connor Bedard. They need a guy like a Macklin Celebrini. Obviously like a Connor McDavid. Like, they need that in order to really get people interested, because in this game today, you cannot win just by sheer effort alone. I mean, you have to have the skill and the talent to be able to score yourself out of trouble and to put up 4 or 5 on another team in a night and not it be, some miracle that you got that high. Like, it needs to be a regular thing. So I don't think it's going to happen. Well, I mean, we can always point out to the examples of where it does happen and where it doesn't, but I just don't think Nashville's ever going to do that. I think they don't like that model. They want to just be competitive in the short run.
Wow. Yeah, that's a risky endeavor, but I guess if you just want to be middle of the road, then I guess it's a good plan. But if you really truly want to be successful, I don't think it's a long-term successful plan.
I agree, and it's odd because other teams, other markets, I talk to other markets other than just yours, and they all say the same thing. Like, why wouldn't Nashville try to go get a top 4? Because they're so good at, like you said, drafting and developing defensemen and goaltenders. They have a good history of that. Most other teams can't do that part, right? They can't find a good goaltender, find a good defenseman, and develop them over time. Nashville's got that locked down. They have just decided that they are either just going to have to go pay for a forward in free agency, or find the only forwards that you can find are the ones that are the bangers and the third line checking guys. And it's frustrating to watch. I wish that they would take a flight on some high skill guys. I will say that I really like their pick of Riker Lee this past draft. I think he showed up in the World Juniors. I feel like a couple goals, but they were both pretty high stakes ones. And he's a really good Michigan State player. I think he's going to be a solid 30 goal scorer guy if he develops that way. But they don't have a top line center. I mean, Brady Martin, like you said, I like the guy. He's a second line center at his cap, right? And they have decided they don't want to do that, and it's very odd. So we'll see if there's a change of heart in the future.
Well, I appreciate it, man. We look forward to the game tonight. The Oilers are desperate. The Predators are playing very well, and we'll see what happens. Alex, thanks so much for your time.
Anytime. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it.
There you go. That's Alex Doherty from the Tennessean in Nashville, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, man. The Preds, like, if you think that you can retool like that on the fly, can you show me an example of where it works? I don't think it does. Maybe you get really lucky. When we come back, now you go from the NHL where you can have a long-term plan. In the WHL, it's very different. You do have a cycle because your players age out. Right? You get your players for 4 years, maximum 5, usually 4, maybe 3. And so you build up when your 16 and 17-year-olds become good at 18, 19, and you kind of go for it. The old Kings are in the go for it stage. And we'll talk to Kurt Hill about some trades he's made and the upcoming trade deadline next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
5-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints, are excited to be back on the ice at the brand new Thompson Family Arena. Be part of the action and enjoy some of the best Junior Hockey Canada has to offer by experiencing a Saints game for your next outing. Tickets range from $10 to $17 with free parking and some of the best food and drink specials in town. For more information on tickets and how you can become a partner, go to sgsaints.ca.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly, some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at www.cantork.com.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:15. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Declan Kruger with you. Tuesday afternoon, it's game day. Oilers taking on the Nashville Predators tonight. And at playalberta.ca, we got some odds boosts for you. Oilers winning. Draisaitl 2 points. When we have a Draisaitl 3, we're rare to go for that one. Maybe a little riskier for you, but fun. And also then McDavid Bouchard combo as well. You can get in at playalberta.ca. The WHL wheeling and dealing as we near the trade deadline in the WHL, as the Oil Kings made another trade yesterday. And we get to the Oil King report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. And we're joined by the GM of the Oil Kings, Kurt Hill, who has been wheeling and dealing. Of course, makes another trade today. You got some draft picks, moving out defenseman Parker Alcos to recover some draft picks. So you've been moving guys in, you've been moving guys out. Kurt, real busy time here the last week and a half for you.
Yeah, it certainly has been a lot busier than the previous 2 years. Obviously comes with the territory of how well our group's played this season, and the job the coaching staff has done, and the players themselves, the work they've put in, and obviously putting confidence into myself and the entire management team to try to improve our team at the deadline here.
So when you look at, kind of take me through yesterday's trade and what you like about moving out Ginla and bringing in a new guy.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the Ginla trade is something that came more to fruition here over the last 2 weeks. It was brought to our attention that Joe was looking for a change of scenery, and when something like that's brought to you, I mean, the first thing is trying to talk through it with the family, the advisor, the player, and see if get a real feel for the reasoning behind it, and the justification of him wanting a change of scenery and just more opportunity with the group is something he was looking for. So at that point, I mean, with where our team is at, you're looking at a player that can help your team right now and in the future, and obviously this year in the playoffs. So we were able to find a trade partner in Vancouver, and we see Aaron Obafafo coming back, and Aaron's obviously a former first-round pick to the Western Hockey League, and a really good player in our league, and we feel that he's a guy that can head into our, the top end of our lineup, whether you want to call it the top 6, top 9, and then help our group out right now. And a guy who plays with a ton of speed, has good skill, and is a super competitive guy. So, just one of those ones where we weren't certainly looking to move Joe 2 weeks ago. Things change, and we did what's best for our team and brought in a player that we really like and is going to be a big part of things here.
What is Obo? Is it Obo Iafo? Is that how I pronounce it properly?
Yep.
Okay. What's he going to bring to your team?
Well, he's a very speedy player. He brings a ton of speed, a ton of energy in his game. He's actually got a lot of sneaky skill that I think is really underappreciated. And, I think he's got a lot more of a ceiling than he's hit so far in the league. Unfortunately, last year, he missed the majority of the season with surgery that he had to go through. So this year, he's been off to a pretty good start. And, obviously with all the moves Vancouver made, there was a lot of stuff going on within that organization and the players they had there. So being able to get him in here into our culture and playing with some really elite players in the top end of our lineup, I think he's going to be able to bring that energy on a night-to-night basis and, be a guy that's first in on pucks and be able to chip in offensively.
Kurt Hill joins us, GM for the Edmonton Oil Kings. You also tell me about Sotherand that you got from Portland.
Yeah, Carter. I mean, when you look at him, he is a guy that's played 41 playoff games in our league. And unfortunately, the year they went to the final against Moose Jaw, he got injured and didn't get to play that, but he was a part of it. And I mean, they had a great run in Portland last year as well. So here's a guy that's played over 230 games in our league, over 41 and 41 in the playoffs. So, bringing some of that veteran presence in, playoff experience. And, one of the biggest things, wasn't that Parker Alkos was a great player on our team. And we just felt as an organization, we needed to bring in another guy on the blue line that could help produce a little bit more offense than Parker had for us. And that's where you see the flip come in with Carter Sotherand coming in today and hopefully really stabilizing that top 4 in our group and being able to provide more offense and a little bit more bite on the back end. And with bringing him in, we had too many D around, and that's where we had to move Parker out and recoup some assets. And I think the biggest asset that we got in that deal was being able to acquire another first-round CHL import pick with us being a team next year that's going to have to. I mean, all 3 of our imports are going to be gone. So when you're picking 3 players in that draft, I like the fact that we have 2 in the first round now.
Yeah, that is massive. And so it's kind of unique, and it's very different when you're the GM of a WHL team, a CHL team, because, Kurt, you kind of have windows, and obviously you would love to extend your winning window as long as you can, but rebuild eventually always seems to be a part of it. Maybe not for every team, but for most organizations, you go up 3-4 years, and ideally you try not to go all the way down, but eventually you do have to retool. And acquiring picks like this to get rid of a player, it's almost like, not that you're doing both because you're still going for it, but there's still a little bit of an eye on next season at the same time.
There certainly is. And I mean, anytime you can acquire some of that draft capital, and, the world's so unknown now. What happens at the end of the season? How many guys decide to move on? I think our culture in Edmonton's extremely strong. I don't think we're going to see a mass exodus. Obviously, there's going to be some older players and key players in our lineup that move on to pro hockey, and maybe one or two move on to the NCAA. But we're certainly looking at improving our team this year, and we do feel that we're going to have an extremely strong group next year as well, and we wanted to have some capital to look at that as well.
So now look at your final rod. Do you think you're done, Kurt, or are you still going to wheel and deal here?
Well, we've certainly done a lot, especially with the two after Christmas when we acquired Jackson Footer from Red Deer, and Austin Zemlak came back from ASU, and we were able to acquire him from the Tri-City Americans. So we've made some pretty substantial moves already. To give away all my cards and say we're 100% done, I wouldn't say that's the case, but we'll be answering the phones over the next 72 hours here and see where we get by 6 o'clock on Thursday.
When you look at your team, Kurt, and you get into the new year, I think overall you got to be pretty happy. What have you liked most about your team, and where are the areas you feel that you still got room to grow?
I think the thing I've liked the most is just the consistency of the group. I mean, we played majority of the first half on the road.
Yes.
We've had injuries through the months of November. Now we've a month of December and early January here, we've had more injuries and players gone to the World Juniors, like key players out of the lineup. And, the resilience of the group has been extremely high. I'm just kind of not really skipping a beat. We've had a couple little stages where we had a stretch of 2 to 3 games where we weren't great, but we still managed to get a point in a few of the games. And then other than that, we've gone on big stretches, big winning streaks where we've been extremely consistent. So I do like that side of the game. And I think the biggest thing, I don't know if there's one thing I can point out about what I want to see more in the group. I think the biggest thing is just going to be ramping up the intensity of once we get everybody back in the lineup and we get these acquisitions in here, it's the accountability factor of this team is going to be extremely high because the expectation is going to be very high from my standpoint, the coach's standpoint, and anyone in the city of Edmonton who's an Oil Kings fan, the expectations will be high in the group.
The players from World Juniors, are you expecting them all in the lineup tomorrow?
No, Ethan McKenzie and Max Kern are going to fly back to Edmonton today.
Okay.
They won't be in the lineup tomorrow in Swift Current, but we expect them to be in the lineup on Friday in Saskatoon.
Okay. And then what about the new guys you acquired today? Probably not expecting them to be in Swift Current tomorrow?
Well, just with the moving a lot of bodies around right now, so it's we are going to have Carter Sutherland in the lineup tomorrow,
Okay.
Pending travel delays and the crazy stuff that can happen with the airlines out there. So I guess I shouldn't say that one yet in case that one bites me, but we're hoping to have him in the lineup. And Obafafo is just got a minor day-to-day injury, so he won't be in this weekend, but potentially hoping to get him back in next week.
Okay. And then what about the other guys that are injured, Kirk? What's the ETA on them returning?
As of right now, everybody, we got 4 guys that are injured: Jackson Footer, Adam Yeko, Reese Peterson, and Aaron Obafafo. And the way things are looking right now, everybody's on track to the target date for everyone to be back is January 21st or 25th.
Oh, okay. So only a few more weeks, and that obviously increases the internal competition for your team. And how do you feel that as a GM? There's trades, you bring in guys, and now you're bringing guys back from injury. It's a fine balance sometimes to ensure that everybody gets there and you keep that culture and that chemistry close.
Yeah, the culture with our team is something I've never questioned. The majority of the players that are here are the guys that started with the organization with our team when we won 10 games one year and 27 the next year. So these guys live the hard times. They've kind of built what our team is today through their own ideologies, their own culture that they want this to be. And they showed that they could have success last year. They've shown that they could be a good team this year. And like I said, when they shown that they can be a consistent team and instill the trust in the coaching staff and the management, that's essentially where we go out and we get more pieces to try to push ourselves over the top and then give those guys an opportunity to win.
Well, Kirk, congratulations on all the wheeling and dealing. We'll wait with interest to see if there's more trades, and we look forward to this final second half of the season and a lot more home games for them, which is good for Oil Kings fans. Appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's Kurt Hill, the GM of the Oil Kings. They made a lot of moves. Man, if you're an Oil Kings fan, they are good. Now, so is Medicine Hat. So is Prince Albert. They're all in the Eastern Conference. They're all ranked in the top 8 in the country. Like, man, that's why, now Edmonton and Medicine Hat are in the same division. So one of them is going to be the number 1 seed, maybe. Right. And then there's the 2 and the 3. Like, you want to be, if you're PA or Medicine Hat or the Oil Kings, and right now Medicine Hat has 59 points in 38 games. The Raiders have 58 points in 36 games, and the Oil Kings have 56 points in 37 games. Like, it's really close. You want to get that number 1 seed, because then if there's no upsets, whatever, you're not going to have to face, you're only going to have to face one of the number 2 and number 3 ranked teams. That's the big one. Now, Everett over in the West, they are definitely the top dog. They got the most points in the whole league. They got already a 13-point lead over Prince George and Penticton. And by the way, the V's have done pretty well in the WHL this year. So lots going on there. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire, where their main focus when you stop in there, your vehicle. From tires and wheels to oil changes and vehicle repairs, they have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com today.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers in action tonight versus the Nashville Predators. A 7 p.m. puck drop. Connor Ingram in the starter's net, though Tristan Jarry was on the ice today. Andrew Mangiapane and Trent Frederic will be healthy scratches for this one. And you can catch pregame coverage at 6 p.m. here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. Other games in the NHL: Vancouver and Buffalo, Colorado and Tampa, Anaheim and Philly, and Dallas and Carolina. All kicking off the action today at 5. The late games in the league, we'll see the Blue Jackets in San Jose to take on the Sharks, and the Bruins in Seattle to take on the Kraken at 8. 6 games today in the NBA, tipping off the action at 5. We will see the Cavs and Pacers, and the Magic and Wizards. Late games, we'll see the Los Angeles Lakers in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans, and the Dallas Mavericks in Sacramento to take on the Kings. AJHL schedule, just one game on the ice today. Devon and Olds with a 7 p.m. puck drop for that one. And news for the Edmonton Oil Kings is they have traded 2006-born defenseman Parker Alcos, a 3rd-round pick in the 2026 CHL import draft, and a 2028 7th-round WHL prospect draft pick to Kelowna in exchange for a 1st-round pick in the 2026 CHL import draft, a 2026 3rd-round WHL prospects draft pick, and a 2027 2nd-round WHL prospects draft pick. I'm Declan Kruger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Action Electricals Projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Oodle Noodle origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
I probably shouldn't.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. It's more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Things I hate about you. 7 things I hate about you.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. Game Day, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. It's the Gregor Show, always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca. Be sure to check in on the Gregor Show. You get the odds boosts when you're there at PlayAlberta.ca, and also $50 million up for grabs tonight. Lotto Max and 2 Max Millions. Oilers up for grabs, a win, and avoid a 3-game losing streak on home ice. Like, the Oilers need to take advantage of this schedule in January. They got a lot of home games. They got a lot of teams below them in the standings. You got to start winning some games. And starts tonight against Nashville. Yeah, they're playing better. It's not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but the Oilers got to wake up here a little bit on home ice. And who knows, the Nashville Predators, maybe it's the perfect mix for them, because the Preds, if there's a team that Leon Draisaitl likes playing, I'd love to know more. If there was one more than Nashville, because he's absolutely lit them up. 21 goals, 39 points in his last 15 games against the Predators. He has 8 goals in 8 home games against the Preds and 13 in 7 road games. Like, loves playing in Nashville. I don't know. Maybe does he stop in the Tootsies before? Who knows? But he loves it there. Maybe he's a big two-stepper. Was unaware of, right? We know that I did learn in that article he likes to do impersonations. So who knows? Maybe they have like impersonation night. He gets there and he loves it. They got a lot of artistic opportunities in Nashville. I'll have to find out. But either way, he loves playing the Preds. And by the way, as good as he's been against the Preds, his running mate, Connor McDavid, not bad in that same time frame with 34 points in 14 games. So not bad at all, that combination. And they'll look to continue to be lethal tonight as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Project, service, testing, and solar. That's what they got. 53 years in business, the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta. That is actionelectrical.net, and they're hiring. Apply today, careers at actionelectrical.net, as we are joined by star of Shoresy, former NHLer, Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how are you, my man?
Oh, I'm not bad. I'm just getting over the holiday here in beautiful St. John's, Newfoundland. A little bit of snow down, visiting Mexico on Friday, so getting all my work done.
Oh, how long are you going to Mexico for?
Just for a few days. My buddy Jonathan Diaby, otherwise known as Joe Dolo, of Shoresy and a draft pick of the Nashville Predators. Dolo has a timeshare down there for the winter, so he invited me, and I'm going to go down and take it easy and actually do some work, but do it in the sun. Why not?
What year was he drafted?
Dolo was a third rounder, I believe. What's he now? 31. So do the math, I suppose, 12 or 13 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. He's you watch him play, too. He's a great hockey player. I know, obviously, we go out and play these games. There's not hitting or fighting, but he could do both of it. And I truly believe that if he'd stayed with it, I think he would have gotten a chance. He's a big guy, man. We play these games. He's got soft hands. And then I went back. It took me a while to look at his stats, and they're real good. No wonder he was drafted so high. And I think he lost his heart a little bit when he got into I don't mean as a player, but for the game itself. You know, he told me he was just gravitating towards writing, and he was like poetry and rap and all these things. And he found hockey was a distraction from that. So I'm like, yeah, maybe you should have retired if hockey's a distraction. But Adam Party tells the story. He was there with him when it happened, and he said Dolo just got up one day and said, "Guys, I love you, but I'm done," and he quit.
Really? He just quit?
Yeah, that was it. He said his heart wasn't in it, and he knew he wasn't. Like, in his words, just he knew he was never going to like maximize his potential that way because he wasn't into it, and he was really starting to. And when you're around Dolo, you'll see there's always got a notepad and paper, and he's always writing down ideas, and he's got not just like rapping and music making. He's got another show he's creating now. I see it like he's almost when he puts his mind to something, he's brilliant. And when he gets inspired, he puts his mind to it. So I've seen him be inspired a few times, and you just kind of let him go and do it, and he comes back with something creative. It's great.
Okay. Speaking of Nashville, did you ever have a team you played against that you're just like, oh my God, like I'm going to play great tonight? Didn't matter. You played them. You have, because I'm a big believer in it. Like certain teams you just play better at, certain arenas you play better at. Because right now, if you're Leon Draisaitl, like the net must look like an ocean when he plays them. 21 goals in 15 games, 39 points. Like it is, it's wild.
Yeah, I was surprised. I knew he was doing well, and you allude to it when they play Nashville, but I haven't heard you say the exact stats lately, and that blew me away. 39 points in 15 games.
Yeah.
Like, just really, that would be huge for the top scorer in Pee Wee. Like, those numbers are 1987 Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky numbers. So, I mean, there's good, and then there's unstoppable or close to. Doesn't surprise me where Nashville has been. But for me, like Nashville hasn't always been terrible, and they rebounded this year. They're actually way more than I thought. But anyway, that's besides the point. Talking about that, any player, I think in most sports that at least you have to score or you have to be creative, and chances aren't just given to you. There's being in the zone, and that stretches. I mean, that's what I call it. There was books written on it 30 years ago. Now I don't know what they would forbid, but it's like in the zone. It seems you can do no wrong. And to me, and baseball players get it. We're going to talk about baseball here in a little bit. Same thing, even though the sports aren't anything similar. When you go to the plate, all of a sudden the ball seems like a beach ball, right? When you got it in the slot, and even when you kind of fan on a shot, it goes in, right? And then it starts to be mental, and it seems like there's so much space out there. And it's not always the weak teams. I try to stress that to people. When you're an athlete and you're in it, I don't know what it is. For me in junior, I was good against Kamloops. They were the best team in the whole league, but the coach played me a lot, right? And, you just got the bounces. You play a little bit harder. You get up for it. There's going to be a lot of people here watching. I got it. Not that Leon's thinking that, but for me, there's all different reasons. Your line mates seem better. They seem more open. I don't know what it is. It's being in the zone. There's been books written on it. I really do think there's a science there. There's something mental about it that even the great players, I mean, he's going to get a point a game anyway against them, but, to have that many, and I truly believe there's a science to it. And once you get in that zone, it's hard to get out of there. And if I'm Nashville, I'm completely aware. A lot of coaches don't play against significant players. I'm aware of that. This is way too big of a sample size to be a fluke, and I've got doing everything I can tonight to throw him off his game.
Yeah. This just coming down. Huge news in the National Football League. John Harbaugh is out as the Baltimore Ravens head coach. He had coached 18 seasons with the Ravens, and they found, like, you know what? they're making a change. I'll tell you right now. John Harbaugh will absolutely jump on the escalator to the top rung of available coaches for teams. If they're he can pick any team he wants. If he wants to coach again right away, maybe he wants to wait. We'll see. But that's some big news. Harbaugh is out as the Ravens head coach, and so longest tenured coaches. Mike Tomlin was still the longest. He's been there since 2007. Reed in 13, Sean Dermott in 17, Sean McVay and Shanahan also in 17. So really, there's only 2 coaches who've been with one team for more than 10 years, which isn't crazy when you think about it. There's changes all the time, but that's a pretty big one. So I thought we'd pass that on. The Edmonton Oilers, TR, they had a stretch in December. It looked like, okay, they found their stride, and now they've crashed back in the ditch here, allowing 11 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah. The Oilers, though, like when they get rolling, there you go. I just talked about being in the zone. Like when they get rolling, as a viewer, it's fantastic because they just they're flowing, they're making passes without thinking. There's so much open space. People are they can't do anything wrong. Watching, and all those players when they're on, they're dynamic. From not just McDavid, I mean with Draisaitl, I mean Bouchard, I mean Nugent, all of these guys. Like they've got a wagon, and when they get going offensively, it's hard to stop, but it's also beautiful to watch. It's like watching an artist paint at the top of his or her game. But the side of that coin is that you really start to get lax. You start to play a little bit like it's exhibition. If that makes any sense whatsoever. You're saying you're focused, and you are. You're laser. You're in, right? Because you're in that zone and everything's going well. I just think it's easy to maybe take your foot off the gas or to make plays that you normally wouldn't if it was the third game of the first round of the playoffs, or you start tightening up a little bit. So I don't know. I've seen most of what you've seen lately, and to me, they've made some plays again that they're obvious mistakes that they just wouldn't normally play, and that comes with being on fire and just everything you touch turns to goal. At some point, that stops.
Yeah, but I just look at their defense right now, TR. Like, I don't love their it's either they're either too passive, and that's a systemic thing, or they just lack energy at times in how they defend. You got to be committed to defend all the time if you want to win the NHL.
Yeah, when things, if you want to point out specifics, I remember commenting a couple of years ago on the Oilers, whatever it was. Remember Dave Hernay when he was first coming in, and like you saw him, and he's a big guy, and with that comes a lot of expectations. Not just, physical. It's physics. You're in the corner. It's a big wingspan. And I found he was like kind of getting jammed up, breaking it out sometimes, and he just started using the glass and out like you do in Bantam. Like they literally tell you in Bantam, glass and out, please, glass and out, please. And I'm just using that example because Edmonton fans probably remember that. It's in recent history. And I find when the Oilers, because all they have to do is pay attention in their own end and just stick to basics, and everything else is going to take care of itself. And I find when they go basics like that, real basics, then it brings them back to earth a little bit. And I'm not saying anything people don't already know. I think their best players and their best D, this has been a knock for some time. With players like a guy like Ekholm, I guess you can start questioning age. But even though that's a factor sometimes, I really, really do think that it's just making that easy play. I'm sure that they've heard this. But as fans, I think you can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? They start to think too much, and it's great to make a play that might end up looking brilliant, but if it doesn't, it's in the back of your net. And just get back to in and out, red line in. If you got any doubts whatsoever, just throw it off the glass and out.
Yeah, for sure. Terry Ryan joins us here in Sports 1440. We are going to come back, take a quick break. We'll come back. Big free agent signing to discuss and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. pregame warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
When it snows and you have a Honda, let it blow, let it blow, let it blow. Ditch the driveway shovel, because right now at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo, save up to $400 on Honda dual-stage snowblowers. Take whatever winter throws at you and throw it back with iconic Honda reliability. Available for a limited time only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert, and always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Ever had a problem returning auto parts? At Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, we do things differently. Hi, it's Lisa, and we're proud to offer one of the best return policies in the business. When you shop with us, you buy with confidence, knowing that if it doesn't fit or if it's not the right part, we'll make it right. For nearly 50 years, Ed's Auto Salvage has helped Alberta drivers save money, stay on the roads, and shop stress-free. Trust the team that stands behind every part we sell. Visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe, and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, technique, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.326. Great tune. Great tune. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you, Sports 1440, Sports 1440.ca. As of course, it's game day for the Edmonton Oilers as they are looking to get back on track. But in the meantime, it's baseball off season, and the Toronto Blue Jays, who had themselves a heck of a playoff run, are looking to continue that and stay at the top in MLB as they've made some big acquisition. Of course, Shane Bieber, they re-signed, and Kazuma Okamoto, the Japanese professional infielder, can play first and third base. They signed him to a deal. What else have they got up their sleeve as we get to our baseball report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. And to break it all down from a Deep Left Field podcast, a longtime reporter for the Blue Jays, Mike Wilner joins us. And Mike, what was your first thoughts on the Okamoto signing?
It was a surprise. It was really interesting. First of all, hello, and hope things are going well in Edmonton while we're getting freezing rain here in Toronto. And it's nice to be on with Terry, who we were together a year ago in St. Thomas. That was a good time. Yes, Okamoto is really interesting. You know, I mean, it was kind of an out of nowhere signing. This is a guy with all kinds of power, who has been an all-star 6 times in Japan, but it's the first, it's the first time the Blue Jays have really dipped into this market successfully. They tried and missed on Yu Darvish, on Shohei Ohtani, on Rohit Sasaki, but Okamoto is here and looks like a pretty exciting player. Like, I don't think he's gonna put up MVP level numbers or anything like that, but it's some pop that they could really use, and seems to be quite something.
Oh God, yeah. So now, what do you like? Is this the end of Bo Bichette? What do you think this means for Bo Bichette? Like, I know they could still play him at second base, but then you're like, well, what are you going to do with Ernie Clement? Like, they got a lot of good players here. And then I guess is Barger now automatically an outfielder for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the end for Bo Bichette, although, Ross Atkins wasn't really giving great vibes today when we asked him that question, but Ross Atkins, the next straight answer Ross Atkins gives to a question will be the first in his 10 years here as a general manager. But Okamoto wouldn't say where he wants to play, where he would even prefer to play. And of course, Atkins was non-committal. So it feels like he kind of wants to move around, play a little third, a little first, a little DH, a little left field. And if that's what is going to happen, then maybe Barger still bounces between third and right. He gives Vladdy a few extra DH days off, or DH days, and maybe plays the outfield a little. So as far as Bichette goes, it really does come down to Ernie Clement, right? Because that's the job that Bo Bichette would take. Is Bo Bichette a better hitter than Ernie Clement? 1,000%, absolutely. So I hope it doesn't close the door, and I hope that if the Blue Jays do still bring Bo back, that Clement will find playing time somewhere. He can spell Andres Jimenez, and there'll be lots of guys to give days off to. But I think the best setup for the Blue Jays is not to have Ernie Clement playing against right-handed pitchers on a full-time basis, because for his career, he's been a below-average hitter against them. And, there's a Bo bias for me, because I feel like he's got a chance to be an all-time Blue Jay, and I would love for that to happen.
Mike, man, the last time, about a year ago, not even, that we met, and I remember you saying we'd cross paths again. Who knew it'd be on Edmonton radio?
Yeah, right.
Well,
and you fell asleep in my car on the way back from St. Thomas.
I did. I certainly did. And I love the podcast, by the way.
Thanks.
And oh yeah, no problem. I got into it after that, and I'm a Jays fan, as you know. So my question, there's been a lot happening This is a two-part, a lot happening in this offseason, and I haven't heard Cody Ponce's name much. I forgot he really kind of fell out of my awareness, and now he's back. The Jays signed him. He left on kind of, as far as a baseball player, his stats weren't great last year, looked through the roof. I couldn't believe what he did overseas. So what can we expect from Ponce this year coming?
That's a really good question. And the honest answer is I have no idea. He washed out of the major leagues in 2021, and he had an ERA over 7 with Pittsburgh, and he found a few extra miles an hour. But when he went over to Japan, he was just a guy in Japan. And then last year in South Korea, set all kinds of records for the league. And I'm wondering, is it just because he threw 98 and nobody else in that league does? Or is it because he really locked into something? So I don't know what to expect from Ponce, but it was good enough. The stuff was good enough that a few big league teams were interested in him. So I don't know that he is a lock for the rotation. He says he doesn't care. He just wants to win. He doesn't care where he pitches. So maybe that 98 plays in the bullpen. Maybe it plays in the rotation. I don't have high expectations for Ponce, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he might be able to do. And he is also a really cool guy and a massive Star Wars geek. So he's going to be a lot of fun to be around.
Oh, that's great news as a fan. And I'm wondering, I assume it's still Kevin Gausman's ball in the opening night. Am I wrong?
I would think so. I don't, they brought in Dylan Cease and they gave him $210 million. And he was the best starting pitcher on the free agent market. But, given what the Jays did last year and how far they got and how big a piece Kevin Gausman was of it, I assume that Gausman gets the ball on opening day. And then, maybe Cease, then Savage. It'll be interesting to see when they give Trey Savage his first start. But for me, Kevin Gausman is your opening day guy.
Mike Wilner joins us. Mike, Santander, there's all that, the Turner rumor hasn't gone away. Do you think Turner makes sense for the Jays? And if it does, then what happens to Santander or Barger? Would there'd have to be a trade, I would assume.
Yeah, I assume you're talking about Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, sorry, Tucker, not Turner.
Yeah, sorry, you scared me for a second. But look, they gave Anthony Santander almost $100 million last year and got nothing out of him. So I think that means that A, they really would like some return on their investment, and 2, it's going to be really hard to trade him. Who wants that after a year like he had? So I think if Santander turns things around, it's going to have to be in Toronto. If they sign Kyle Tucker, then, yeah, I mean, Nathan Lucas, it looks like, has already lost his job with Okamoto coming here. The next guy Addison Barger, I think still has an option, but I don't know how you tell him thanks but no thanks and spend a year in the minors until George Springer's contract expires. But I don't see how you can get rid of Santander. I do think that it's never a problem having too many good players and trying to figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
But like Atkins said today, any more additions means somebody loses a job. So I just don't think there are any takers for Santander.
Well, that's probably fair, right? Now that's a guy though, he got injured. He never seemed to find his stride early. Then he got banged up. And then when he came back, wasn't the same either. And, you look and say it's 1 year, but I've seen lots of guys struggle their first year in a team and come back and be much, much better. What about Barrios? Because he was clearly upset with being demoted. And I can understand why you're competitive, but man, I look at their starting rotation and I'm like, I don't see where he fits. Do you?
I mean, that all depends on Cody Ponce. And I think Barrios is another guy who it's almost impossible to trade because he has an opt-out after this year, which means that if he goes out and has a good year, he leaves. And if he has a bad year, then you're on the hook for another $30 million for him for 2 years. And I don't know how many teams are going to be interested in that sort of a deal. But for me, I think I mean, Shane Bieber is a question mark. They expect him to be ready for spring training, but maybe not. So maybe that defers the decision a little bit. But I think Jose Barrios starts the year in the rotation, and maybe Cody Ponce doesn't.
Huh. Yeah, okay, that's fair. So if you look at their offseason, you look at the Jays today, everybody who's signed, do you see an area where they clearly need to still upgrade or at least add before training camp? Preseason.
I mean, I think everybody who's listening to this would suggest that they could use a capital C closer. But I think that's a little harsh on Jeff Hoffman. Yeah, he gave up a massive home run, but it was only the second run he'd given up since the end of August. And I was sort of looking back at Tom Henke and how much we revere Tom Henke in Blue Jays fandom, and some of the spectacular blown saves that Tom Henke had over his days in big playoff games. And you can get past that, and hopefully Hoffman can. I don't think the Blue Jays are going to be able to get themselves a big-time closer, but to me, that's the one place where they could, where there's a real, if you get not that there's anybody who's automatic, but someone who's as automatic as you can get, I would make that move. But other than that, or bringing back Bichette, or if Kyle Tucker falls into your lap, I think that this team looks pretty solid.
You think Tucker? This might be a strange. Like, how good do you think Tucker is?
I think he's real good.
Okay.
Like real good. Like a left-handed hitter who walks, doesn't strike out, and hits home runs, and plays a decent corner outfield. He's real good.
So because now I know it's different than other sports, but like free agency's been open there for a long time. Why hasn't he signed?
Because it's different from other sports, right? I mean, that's literally the only answer. The NBA and the NHL have caps, which means that there is that free agent frenzy because players want to get signed before teams sort of close up the kitty. So it all happens really fast. In baseball, there's no cap, there's no rush. It takes as long as it takes. I mean, Bryce Harper signed in March. So did Prince Fielder when he was a huge free agent. It's not unusual for big guys to go till the end of January. It just seems to be that's the way it is.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of that does make sense because there's not the urgency if everyone's like, hey, we can get our money anyway. But what do you make, Mike, if we look past next season? And is there going to be? Are you concerned about the MLB and a CBA and what potentially could happen or not happen?
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned that there might not be baseball in 2027 because the CBA is up, and I think the players are concerned about it too. But I mean, they just signed a new TV deal after blowing billions on losing ESPN. I think that there's incentive for the owners not to flush a season. I think that they've got to be smart enough to know that the players are never going to go for any kind of cap. And the same thing's going to happen if they try to shut it down, as happened in 1995, that, they'll wind up at an impasse and the judge will say, look, owners, you're trying to do something that's illegal, and everybody back to work. So hopefully, I think there's going to be some pain. There's going to be a lockout. There's going to be months of back and forth. And I don't think the 2027 season is going to start on time, but I don't think we're going to lose a year. I just have to imagine that these people are smart enough not to, they've already killed one golden goose, not to kill another.
Yeah, well, no, there's lots of money to be made on both sides, so you'd think you'd come to a rational agreement, but that doesn't always seem to be the case. So we shall see. Mike, I appreciate it. The little off-season update, man. Thanks for this. Have a great day.
All right, thanks. Great chatting with you, and good catching up with you, Terry.
Great seeing you again, my friend. See you soon.
There you go. That is Mike Wilner from Deep Left Field podcast, and I'm intrigued. The Jays, they got a lot of potential, and I think adding another big bat definitely won't hurt him. Like, I'm a huge Barger fan. Like, I loved how Barger played in the World Series. Like, once he got that late home run, all of a sudden the guy was on fire. right? Ernie Clement, what did he hit? 400? Like they got some guys. Now, some would say, you know what? That's not repeatable. And maybe, 400 is probably not repeatable for sure. But then like Barger he hits the ball so hard. He runs, like he can throw. Like, God, there's lots I like about him. And I don't know, like maybe, who knows? Maybe it was just a year, but I'm a big Barger fan and I'd like to see more of him.
I think, but the thing is, Jason, they're passionate players and they care. They give a crap, right? Like often I'm not saying that others don't, right? Or people have bad luck. I mean, I don't know. Santander, I haven't seen him enough. He came over, I think wasn't it 2 years? Or it's been, but anyway, he came over and I know he's been hurt. I'm certainly not saying that about certain players, but some of them just seem like they're hiding behind a curtain. You can't really dig down and see the personality. And that's all across the league. But, we got some players with us that love playing. They love the fans. There's a connection. They're going to maximize their potential, to use that term again, because they care. They're going to go out and do the best that they can. I would be all over players like that. And that's why we fell in love with them. As a country behind our team, I think a big part of it, I'll throw Davis Schneider, guys like that in. They care. They're going to go up. They might slump, but they're going to figure out a way to get on base, and they're going to dive for a bunt. They're going to play, and they're going to play hard. They have passionate. They care about what they do. And that's why I think there was not the only reason, but it's a major part of the Jays' success and why they turned it around and came together, because they got to know each other better.
It's very true. Quick break. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We got lots to get to. We'll get to 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text VALUE to 780-777-7777 to start. That's VALUE to 780 all sevens. Why, guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.346. Welcome back. Gregor, Terry, Ryan, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. I hope you are having a lovely Tuesday. Pretty decent weather out there today. Nothing to complain about. Roads are still a little slick, though. So we say also Edmonton Minor Hockey Week ready to roll starting this weekend. So good luck to all the teams, everybody who is involved in Edmonton Minor Hockey Week. Will be over 13,000 players who are playing. Starts on Friday night and goes until the following Sunday. So good luck. Good luck. It's kind of cool to have the U9 Pond Hockey Classic out at Cattail. Should be a lot of fun. Playing outdoors, man. Like, more kids should do it. It is awesome. Yeah, I had outdoor practice for years with my kids. They absolutely loved it. Loved it, right? Like, I had a lot of, my kid would never go in the ODR until we practice, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can get out here. I'm not going to die. It's great. Like, especially just let them go play. The unstructured part of the game is that's where you can try some things and have some fun and learn to figure it out, and away you go. So it's good times. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where for another week you can save up to 25% on TV stands, wall units, electric fireplaces. Free to local delivery on 2 or more select appliances at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, question number 1 with the benching of Andre Mangiapane and Trent Frederic tonight. What is your ideal yet semi-specific and most importantly realistic outcome for these 2 players?
Realistic outcome, man. I'm a player, so I hope they dig out of it. They both prove that they can play better than they're playing, and don't trip over your bottom lip. Just get out and do it. I know we're way into the season, but I got no reason to. I don't think they're playing well, no. And at times during the season, a guy like Frederic specifically, I guess he's got to step up and play more physical, and amongst other things. And Mangiapane, for a guy that can really put the puck in the net, sometimes he seems lost. But we've all been there. My realistic hope and expectation is that they can both get back and play to their potential, and hopefully they do it. I know they can.
When I look at, Mangiapane, I don't think he'll be in order in 2 weeks. And Frederic is going to need a long time kind of. I think he could benefit from the break. He needs a reset. I don't think you can just snap your fingers. He's in a funk. Like, Terry, I watch him in practice, man. Like, he is, you can tell he's fighting it. Like, confidence is powerful when you have it, and it's maybe more powerful when you don't have it. And right now he doesn't have it.
And what I love that you just said you see him in practice, because you can really tell.
Yeah.
Games are one thing, and it's so fast and physical, and you might get benched for 7 minutes and come. There's always a reason that you can say, but I got distracted. When you watch practice and this puck's still bouncing around, and you're not confident in everything else, that to me is like if I'm a coach, I immediately intervene. I get in there. I got to figure this out because practice, I mean, not everything's going to work. You're not going to be seamless out there every time, but it should look like you have confidence, if nothing else. And if you don't, in that practice, a bunch of guys that you know and have played with and against for a long time, then I'm not going to say panic button, but it's time to step in. And if that's what you see, it ain't a good sign, my friend.
Question number 2, what do you guys make of Zane Parek's comments at the World Juniors and then subsequently the Flames' reaction to his comments?
Well, a few things. I don't think he was wrong. I don't think he's wrong at all. Trust me, as someone who deals with them, they can be very robotic. You know what? And now I'll say this at the same time. You don't ever hear me ripping on a guy when he says something. You got way too many media and fans who are like, I want him to say something. And the minute they say something that isn't perfect, you shouldn't have said that. Can't have it both ways. So I don't think what Parek said was bad at all. It's like, you know what? It's way more of a loose atmosphere at the World Juniors. NHL, I get it. But at times they take themselves way too damn serious. They act like they're so important. Like, oh my God, geez, I can't say anything. And, it's going to be the worst thing. Like, he's not wrong that it's robotic. And, if the flame, guess what? Usually some people, the most times you get defensive is when it's true.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything off base at all. Like, let's get serious here. Like, this is a guy who's a great hockey player. And for where he is on the world level, he's a very humble player. Usually says, I haven't heard him say anything out of line. That's just an observation. I could see if he said, I'm going to come in and dominate the league because we don't have great defensemen in Calgary. Imagine that comment.
Yeah.
Right? And people make it in a lot of sports. He didn't say that. He's saying, a lot of the answers are robot, and they are. There's reasons if you want to go deeper. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to say, why take a chance? There's all kinds of reasons. But he said, just speaking the truth, man, from a kid that went out and gave us all. I was absolutely blown away that people were that taken aback of all the comments you could take from so far this year in sports. And that's the one we're going to try to, eat up and specifically analyze over this amount of time. I think it's old news, and I wish the guy all the best.
Now, for anybody who missed it, he was asked kind of why he's so comfortable bearing his soul to the media. Essentially, that's what he was asked. And he said, quote, I think it's more watching NHL guys be robots and not having any personality. I think you need some personality. It's the best way to grow the game. I don't want to come in here and be a robot here being into World Juniors. When I'm in Calgary, I definitely have a lot of guys who are telling me to give really simple answers, but here I could do what I want. So, and it's true. And I know it happens. I've talked to people and you come in, oh, geez, don't say anything, man. Like, give me a break. Like, imagine that. Like, what are you going to say that's really that bad? Like, do people not watch the NBA? Look at what they say all the time. Does it hurt them? Are people not watching the NBA? Right? Like, give me a break. I loved what he had to say because it was 100% honest. Having covered the league for 20 years, I can tell you there's lots of players who are now in certain situations, I get it, but there's lots of times you're just like, oh my God, man, like you can give an answer, right? Like, oh, they're a great team. The team's got like 6 wins in 40 games. Oh, they're a great team over there. What? Why? Why do you have to say that? It's the stupidest answer ever.
Question number 3, after talking with Mike Wilner and hearing the reports that the Jays are the favorite to land Kyle Tucker, if you had to put a percentage on what it was for him to end up as a Jay, what would it be? And what would that free agent signing mean for the club?
It's a good question. I'm going to say I'll say 60% chance. Decent, but not great. Just above, maybe even 58, something like that. Wow. It would give them another big bat. It definitely helps them from the left side of the plate for sure.
I'm with Jason though. Like when he asked Mike, like, why aren't these guys signed? Right? Like I know it's a different sport, but come on. Did you think Tucker would last this long? I didn't. I didn't think Bichette would either. So, and I mean, every day we hear the Jays linked to them. So I'm going to have to give a percentage of over 50, and I'm going to give 75%. The only team really I've heard linked to these guys over now. I know I'm from Canada and I'm hearing it on Toronto and Canadian stations, but yeah, I'm going to go 75%. They seem to be very interested, if not all in. And the Jays lately have been making moves that have been blowing me away. I got no reason to doubt it.
Question number 4. So this is from the previous show. Low Tide had an idea in the NFL that if you draft a quarterback top 5, and even if it doesn't work out, you can't be allowed to draft in the top 5 again for another 5 years as punishment. Now, obviously in a vacuum, that sounds kind of harsh. It was part of a larger argument about team mismanagement and how he was going at it as a parent, and how these teams and organizations will sometimes, destroy these players and only view them as commodities. But I wanted to know your guys' take on where you come out on that rule or that idea that he had specifically.
Go ahead. I think it's a fantastic idea. Well, I guess the angle I'm coming from is that quarterbacks are so important. We could all list positions in other sports. We just talk baseball. You could say pitcher, whatever. Quarterback plays every single game. There's way less games. And from the MVP every year, it's basically a quarterback conversation. Every year, whoever goes first, it's basically a quarterback conversation. There are outliers, quite a few, but still, I think I'm generally speaking the truth. So for such an important, all-encompassing position, yes, I think you should have to be more strategic in who and when you're picking.
No, I think it's a terrible idea. So, look at this, for instance. Okay, so Tennessee took Cam Ward last year, number 1. And so now they can't, are you saying you can't draft another quarterback in the top 5, or you can't get a draft pick at all in the top 5? It's one position. And yes, you need a good quarterback to win, but you need a lot of other good players to win. So no, I think it's foolish. It's a big risk. There's lots of top quarterbacks in the top 5 that don't pan out. So now you're going to double down and punish a team. It's basically saying, okay, you can't take a quarterback in the top 5. And so draft a DN, draft an offensive tackle. And now the team who drafts 6th can get quarterbacks all the time. I just think it's way too random. It doesn't make sense to me. I would never want to see that you could have to go 5 years without drafting in the top 5. First of all, Jacksonville was top 5 last year. New England was top 5. They're out, right? And they didn't draft a quarterback, right? Jacksonville hasn't drafted.
5 years doesn't make sense. So there's only 32 teams in the league.
Yeah, but to go
5 years, 1 year would make sense if any. But
yeah, 5 years doesn't make sense. And 1 year, I don't know. I look at the Chicago Bears, the Washington Commanders, the New England Patriots, they all drafted a quarterback with their first pick, 1, 2, 3, and 24. And the only one to pick in the top 5 again was New England. Now, they didn't take a quarterback because they just took one, right? So, why would you say, well, now New England, you still suck, but you can't even get a pick? I don't know. That kind of defeats the purpose just because you took a quarterback. No, I don't like that. I don't like that idea at all.
I wholeheartedly agree. Question number 5, the fun one of the day, if you will. What is on your guys' Mount Rushmore of cool guy things? Or maybe a better way of phrasing it is things that make you seem cool.
TR, go ahead.
Well, God, if we're going to go materialistic, I suppose I could say a nice pair of shades, a leather jacket, and a motorcycle. Got a new Harley, but. Those are just things that pop into my mind stereotypically. I think nowadays, I really do. I really, really believe that, I don't know what we're talking, cool to the ladies if you're single, or just cool overall.
Mm-hmm.
A man's man. But I do think showing humility, compassion. A lot of us are told, don't cry at a movie. Show your feelings. Why not? It's just human. And I do think that that's not so much a trend. It's just if I see someone that's real, that I can trust to be real, even though I don't really need to, I consider that a character trait that's really, really cool. And if I see him ride in on a Harley, it's bonus.
That's fair. What be my Mount Rushmore? Well, number 1 for me, cool guy thing, is to be a present and loving father. It's one of the most important things in the world. Fatherhood gets way underappreciated. It's massively important. So that's number 1. Number 2, loyal friend. It's got to be right up there. Right now, doesn't mean you can't disagree with each other. And sometimes, buddies have even gotten a fist fight, but you're still loyal. Good thing in friendship. Number 3, you know how to drink a good cocktail. I think it's important whether you only have one. You might only have one a month. I don't care. But you have to have a good you can mix it when someone comes over. You can make a cocktail. No pop.
Great point.
No pop. Good cocktail. And 4, somebody who I still think it's cool to have some athletic ability. I think it matters. Now, you don't have to be the best hockey player. You don't have to be the best basketball player. You don't have to be the best golfer. But you should be able to have some athleticism. I think it's good. And be able to do a crossword puzzle. That'd be my last one. Deck, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, you guys certainly took it in a different direction than I did. I will say you guys had probably more quote-unquote correct answers. But for my top 4, parallel parking in front of an audience. Cool guy thing. Not quite being a loving father, but it was my 1-1. I had cutting the entire line to get in the club. That's a cool guy thing.
Okay.
This one, I think you guys might appreciate. Handing your server your card without looking at the bill. Absolutely nails. And last one, gutting tobacco. Just keep it simple. Keep it grassroots.
Gutting tobacco?
Yeah.
I mean gutting tobacco. What the hell is that? I don't even know what gutting tobacco is.
Like swallowing your dip spit.
Whoa! The first 3 you had were unbelievable. The last one.
Oh my God, that might be the worst. That might be like the dumb guy thing to do. Oh, because I've seen buddies. Because I tried it once in my life, and after 10 minutes, the room started spinning. I spit it out, never did it again. But I've seen guys at party. They used to have their beer bottle, right? And they'd spit in the beer bottle. Then at the end of the night, they'd grab the wrong beer bottle, take a swig of it, and oh my God, I was dying laughing. So I could never think swallowing your dip would be a cool guy. Like if you like there's something like if you somehow could stand there, and hold the cigarette out of the corner of your mouth, there's something that can kind of like, maybe you got your leather jacket on and shades. I can get that, that is much better than sitting there. Hey, what's in your mouth? Dip. Swallow it. God, that would be the worst. That would drop me off the cool guy list for sure.
Jason and I were thinking like advice to give like a 15-year-old going into high school or something, like life advice. I love your first 3. I said, man, I should have thought it. And then your 4th threw me for such a, I can't see one person in my inner life here, in my inner circle, thinking that was cool. Some would ask me to give my head a check. Some would just give me some Pepto-Bismol. The other 3, gold. I'm immediately a hero.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Another thing because I can't do it. When the guy can stand there with a pint of beer and open the throat and chug it in a second, I'm like, that's pretty cool. Because I can't do it. And I'm like, damn, I've tried it. Got beer all over me. It never works. Like, you can do it with water. I don't care. But I don't know. There's just something about that, right? You get into one of those chugging contests and it's over before it begins. I kind of like that. So those are some good answers.
First one off the list, to your point, TR, about hitting my dip spit one was crushing the ball in front of the cart girl. So, if you like that one better, maybe I'll slide that one in instead.
Yeah, that is. I'm going to have to remember these, though. All like instant. We went with the long game. You're going like the impact of the moment, like specific moment. And I love your answers. I'm going to try to pull off that hat trick next weekend. All 3 in one night.
TR, I will say this. A guy who can cut a rug on the dance floor, either country music or dance music, cool guy move. Big time.
First time I met Jason Strudwick off the ice was at Cowboys at the NHL draft after playing against him for 2 years. And he had these pinkish pants on and they were little, they were
pretty tight.
What's the word? Like they were high up in the bottom. Like they were like, where's the flood? What's it called when they were real? And it wasn't part of the look then. Now it kind of is. And I remember thinking this guy, because that setup and him dancing out there is so uncool that this is one of the coolest people I know, that he can actually come out here and confidently pull that off with a bunch of hockey players that are going to the NHL. He's an NHL pick. So many people in here, and he can do that. And why did I spend so much time trying to look good?
Well, that's true. Dance like nobody's watching. Dress like nobody's looking. That was Strutty. Definitely the dress like nobody's looking. TR, have a great day. We will chat with you on Thursday.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Declan. Thank you, Edmonton. And we'll talk again soon.
Get to Declan Kruger. I didn't even know Kruger dipped. Do you dip?
Not anymore. Not
anymore.
No.
Swallowed too many of them?
Well, there's a funny story behind. I won't tell the story right before an update, but I did kind of have another cool guy reason for doing it. So
Oh, God. We'll hear about that. Let's, it's a good tease. It's a good tease. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Your next dinner is ready and it's easier than ever. Meals.loca.ca. Look, browse, order. They'll deliver it right to your door as low as $10 per serving. Eat, repeat. Meals.loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers in action tonight versus the Nashville Predators. A 7 p.m. puck drop. Pre-game coverage getting going here at 6. Connor Ingram is in the starters net, though Tristan Jarry did skate today, and Andre Mangiapane and Trent Frederic both healthy scratches in this one. The NHL will get going tonight at 5 o'clock with 4 games on the schedule. Canucks and Sabres, Avs and Lightning, Ducks and Flyers, and the Dallas Stars in Carolina to take on the Hurricanes. Late games in the league tonight, we'll see Columbus and San Jose and Boston in Seattle. In the NBA, 6 games on the schedule, 2 games getting the action going at 5, Cleveland and Indiana, and Orlando and Washington. We'll also see Miami and Minnesota, and the LA Lakers in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. News out of the sporting world is that Ravens have fired head coach John Harbaugh after 18 seasons. Harbaugh went to the playoffs 12 times with the club, won the division 6 times, and won a Super Bowl in 2012. News involving the Edmonton Oil Kings as they have traded 2006-born defenseman Parker Elkos, a third-round pick in the 2026 CHL import draft, and a 2028 seventh-round WHL prospects draft pick to the Kelowna Rockets in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 CHL import draft, a 2026 third-round WHL prospects draft pick, and a 2027 second-round WHL prospects pick. AJ action, just 1 game tonight on the schedule. Devon in Olds, 7 p.m. puck drop from the Olds Sportsplex. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray Radio Station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Chat Brab and 118th.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Papa John's. It is Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular priced pizza. Use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Jason Gregor, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hey, guys, LT was talking about positions. He was talking about Cleveland, who've drafted a lot of quarterbacks. NFL doesn't have a good development system, so players get drafted, don't work out, and then get dropped and forgotten. Otad wants more development. QB specifically are poorly coached, expecting 23-year-olds to work out right away. Look at how Mayfield and Darnold just needed a few years to develop before they got good from Jacob. Well, I agree with your last point about that for sure, Jacob, but keep in mind, the only quarterback the Browns have drafted in the first round was Baker Mayfield in 2018. And then, they've drafted cornerbacks, offensive tackles, defensive tackles. They've traded their picks down. They took Mason Graham 5th overall. They took Denzel Ward 4th overall the same year they took Baker Mayfield. And then prior to Baker Mayfield, if you look at a first round, they took Johnny Manziel 22nd overall in 2014. I think we all know who that worked out very well. So they've never, even the Browns, like they took a few quarterbacks last year, but none of them were in the top 5. Right? So, and I actually looked in the NFL draft. No 2 teams have taken a quarterback each in the top 5 in the last. And I don't even know if ever. I'd have to look back in a 5-year span. Has any team ever taken a quarterback twice in a 5-year span in the top 5? I'm gonna guess no. So, yeah, Cleveland's drafted 2 guys, but if you take a quarterback late, like a Shedeur Sanders, and you know what, great, maybe he's going to develop into it. I don't think that should stop you from being able to take another one the next year in the top 5. If there's one that you think is good enough. But there should be something. Warren Moon's already said it on the show for years that he doesn't think there's a lack of quarterbacks. He thinks there's a lack of patience with quarterbacks. And I think that is true. So whether or not we ever see a change, well, that remains to be seen. Let's get to talk some NFL wildcard weekend going on starting on Saturday as Josh Dubow from AP, Associated Press, beat reporter for the 49ers, joins us. And Josh, man, what an absolute crushing division this year in the NFC West. And most other years, the 49ers probably would have had home field advantage, but they don't. And now they got a heck of a matchup against the defending champs.
Yeah, they came close. One win away from getting that home field, getting the bye, being at home all the way to the Super Bowl potentially. And now it's head out on the road. Got to play the defending champs in Philadelphia this week. So definitely not the easy road for them.
How do you look at that matchup for the 49ers? Like the 49ers scored a ton of points. Some people are like, yeah, but they scored all the points against bad teams. I'm like, hey, you can only play who's on the schedule. So if you're scoring 35 points all the time, you must be doing something right. I know they struggled against the Seahawks defense, who was very good, but the Eagles defense isn't that good. What do you make of it's good though? What do you make of this matchup for the 49ers offense against the Eagles defense?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a little easier matchup than the Seahawks. Eagles defense is good. It's not on the Seahawks level. And I think especially, I think some of there should be more opportunities thanks for Christian McCaffrey in the passing game. I think the big issue for the Niners in that game against Philly is, they sometimes can rely on those short passes that turn into bigger plays. And they were, there was no yards after catch for them against Seattle. They were stopping McCaffrey right away, or even, they had a bunch of short passes, to the receivers, and they ended up being, 2-3 yard gains, not the 7 or 8s that, that helped them move the ball. And I think they probably can do a little more of that against the Eagles. It's not quite as tough a defense, but, it's not going to be an easy task for them.
If we go specific matchups, like obviously Christian McCaffrey and Kittle, those are the main 2 guys offensively for the 49ers, no question. How do you think the Eagles defensive line and their run defense will match up against McCaffrey and the O-line? And is then Trent Williams going to play? I guess that's my first important question.
Yeah, we're unsure on Trent Williams. Maybe have a better idea tomorrow. I don't expect him to practice tomorrow. He doesn't practice Wednesdays, even when he's healthy. Usually gets a rest day, so I'm guessing we're not going to see him on the practice field tomorrow, and we'll probably have a better idea maybe Thursday or Friday, whether he can go this week. He's never had a hamstring injury before this,
right?
So he wasn't certain how long it would be, and it's definitely, those can be tricky injuries. They are a different team, understatement there without Trent Williams. He's still one of the best, even at age 37. When it comes to left tackles in the league. The issue for the Niners have not run the ball well most of the year. They had started to get it going on the ground a little bit the few weeks before the Seahawks game. part of that was, I think, playing the Bears defense. They were able to run the ball really well that game. So we'll see how they can run the ball against the Eagles. I think they're going to need to do some. They're going to get a little something going on the ground. Dealing with Jalen Carter, if he seems healthy again, it's going to be tough for the interior of the Niners defense. And in terms of getting pressure on Purdy. So I think they're going to need to be able to run the ball, whether they can. It's not going to be easy if Trent doesn't go, for sure.
You look at it from a defensive side, like the Eagles. It's funny, like they're 11-6, and man, well, it's Philadelphia, so they're never happy. But their fans, this team isn't that good, and they really haven't been pushed in their division. They actually rested all their guys. They could have got the number 2 seed, assuming they would have beaten Washington if they played all their starters, and they probably would have. But kind of like, are the Eagles just the defending champs who are kind of like, what, we haven't taken it serious, but now we're ready to go? Like, are you a believer that a dominant team like that can just flip the switch and be ready and more consistent in the postseason?
Yeah, I have a hard time believing they can just flip the switch and be at the level they were last postseason. I think they're obviously I think they can be a little better offensively than they've been for a lot of this season. But I don't know. For them, they ran the ball so well last year. And their run blocking and running game, Saquon's been hit behind the line a ton. His yards before contact's been a lot lower this year. If they don't have that running game, Jalen Hurts is, he's not the best best passing quarterback. If you take the running game away, that offense gets a little stale sometimes. The fear though is they got big play potential. They block one play for Saquon, he can break it. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith can break. They don't need to get 8-10 plays to drive downfield. They have that big play capability, and if they hit a couple of them, that might be enough. The Niner defense has not been very good, especially late in the season. They have been pretty good at limiting the big plays for the most part. So that'll be, but they've given up a lot of the shorter stuff and just can't get off the field. They don't generate pressure at all. I think they're 20 sacks, only 6 interceptions. They don't get a lot of big plays, but they have been very good in the red zone. And that sort of stuff, that's obviously where the Eagles thrive too. They get down to the goal line to go to the touch push, and it's real tough to stop them. So, I think that Niner defense against the Eagle offense is a very intriguing matchup. With teams that are not great at either one, but that might determine who ends up winning the game. Is which side wins that battle.
Do you see like a key matchup for the 49? Like if they're going to win the game, where is it? Is it D-line versus the O-line? Is it their O-line versus the D-line? Like, what's your matchup where you feel like they have to win there if they're going to win the game?
I can talk McCaffrey as a receiver. How the Eagles can try to take him away.
Okay.
I'm not sure their linebackers can do it. Are they going to try to use Cooper DeJean on him? Especially if the Niners aren't going through receiver sets. How they're going to deal with him, because McCaffrey is a receiver. It's really been the basis of the Niners offense for a lot of this year. And then Kittle is a receiver secondary to that. But I think if the Eagles can limit the McCaffrey as a receiver, I think the Niners have a very difficult time winning. And if they can't, Niners should be able to at least score some points. And whether that's enough, we'll see. But
now, the Seahawks game, wasn't great offensively for the 49ers. But, prior to that, like Purdy had thrown I think 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in his previous 3 games. And, had thrown basically 900 yards in those 3 games. Like the offense looked great. How key do you feel Purdy is, and how do you think he can react and read to this Eagles defense?
Purdy's playing well. But definitely different when that was against a Titans defense that's just not very good, against a Colts defense that was missing its top 2 corners, and against a Bears defense that struggled to stop people. So, those 3 games, the offense was clicking at a real high rate, but I think we saw some of the limitations when they went up against the Seattle defense. This won't be quite as tough, but I'm not expecting the 35 points that they got, in those 3 games for sure. The one thing Purdy has and has been doing very well lately, his elusiveness in the pocket. He avoids sacks pretty well. He can extend plays and either scrambling or throwing off it. And the Niners have gotten some big stuff off of that the last few weeks. they're going to probably need that, especially if the Eagles front is healthy. I think they will get some pressure on him. So, you know, he's going to need to play one of his best games if the Niners are going to win this game.
Who are you picking to win? Which three teams win this week in the NFC?
And yes, I assume the Rams. I think the Bears pull it out over the Packers, and I've been going back and forth on the Niners. I think the Niners win. I think it'll be a close game. I think they pull it out. In the end, I think I just don't trust the Eagles offense enough.
And Mr. Harbaugh is now out of Baltimore after 18 seasons. Going to be a highly sought after head coach, and the 49ers aren't going to be looking at him. But you know, there's currently, I think, 6 teams that don't have a head coach. None of them are that great, though. But do you think an established team would fire their coach to bring in Harbaugh?
I don't know. I have a hard time believing that. You know, it depends on what level of established you're talking. You know, how much, if any of the playoff teams, you know, they're probably, you know, some of the teams that didn't make the playoffs or haven't made a move now who might be rethinking it. You know, I'm guessing that the Giants are going to be lining up to try to get him. He seems like a perfect fit for what the Giants would want. You know, we'll see where it ends up, but seems like he wants to work, and I can't imagine he won't be getting the job for next season somewhere.
Josh, great stuff, man. Enjoy the weekend. Appreciate your time. Enjoy the games.
Yeah, no problem. And Bengals, 1999, Achilles Smith third, and Carson Palmer first. And
there you go. Okay, so that's the team. I knew somebody had to do it. Thank you. Saved me a lot of research.
That was the one that left out to me when I heard you.
There you go. I like it. Appreciate it.
Problem.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Keely Smith didn't pan out like the Bengals wanted. I like that. Josh just pulling that one out there. Fantastic. That's when you know the guy's that's a football guy right there. I love it. We'll come back and talk to the pink jeans dancer, Jason Strudwick, here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store.
The Jason Gregor Show presents
The non-alcohol section is also very
memory.
impressive.
That's what you remember.
Sherbrooke
Memories.
Liquor, expert, knowledgeable
It's a
staff with
bouquet
a
of
passion for unique
enjoyment.
wines.
But you know, it's like
More
I
than
always
just a
say,
liquor store,
HK.
you're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Just think, Kevin Karius has been covering Edmonton sports since before TikTok, Twitter, texting, and the Titanic. We may have made that last one up. Check out Karius in the mornings on Sports 1440. Your game, your station.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired?
Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's a sweet tune, man. Love it. A little ABBA for you on a Tuesday afternoon. Game day, Oilers taking on the Predators. No Frederic, no Mangiapane. They are healthy scratched. Ingram gets the start. Kasperi Kapanen will return to the lineup. His first game since October 19th when he was injured. And he re-aggravated that in early December, late November. Can't remember the exact date. I remember the practice where he did it at, though. And now he is back and ready to roll. He'll play tonight with Draisaitl and Podkolzin, at least to start. Let's get to Struds Arden, brought to you by the BCHL All-Star Game, which is coming right here to Spruce Grove at the Thompson Family Arena. League's best players, they go head-to-head back-to-back games. I like it, January 16th and 17th. So you can take it on. It's basically their matchup is Canadian players versus the world, United States imports. So a little Canada versus the world format. Get your tickets at sgsaints.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
It's the memories. That's what you remember. Memories.
It's a bouquet of enjoyment coming in my mouth there. But it's like I always say, HK, who cares?
It's time for Struds On.
Freddie, how you doing? Do you remember the pink jeans you wore at the draft that Terry Ryan was telling the story about earlier?
What? Pink jeans?
Yeah, kind of like pinkish shoe jeans and really tight. You're on the deck. Maybe it's pinkish shirt, but with some jeans. I don't know. You guys were out dancing. He was amazed at a guy that was that confident to pull off that outfit, is what he said.
Well, I mean, you get on the dance floor, you start spanking the planks. It's all about confidence. And I remember that night. Well, we ended up at Barry T's. It was so much fun. It was just a great. The city was buzzing that night, and so were my dance moves.
Oh man, I still have a video of you dancing.
Oh yeah. That was a good time.
Oh, God. Oh, geez. I just like to look at it. I should just send you that randomly. God, it makes me laugh. Oh, so funny. Dale, and I was saying Dale McMillan for that. Like, that's a good friend when he can save that footage to just be used at any point. The Edmonton Oilers, I guess let's start, Struddy. Did you ever play against someone who you just like, God, this guy dominates us? And right now, that's what Leon, the title was, Draisaitl is Nashville's daddy. It's true. He's got 39 points in 15 games starting, 21 goals. Like it's, that's like a, triple midget type of number, not NHL numbers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's over the top. And I just, it's incredible. These are NHL players you're playing against and you're just absolutely tearing them apart. And at some point, you got to be frustrated if you're a member of that team. If you're getting run over like that by an individual player like this. So, they've had some changes, I know, and it's not always the same players they've been playing against, but some of those guys have been there for a while. So you got to put your foot down at some point. Let's just stop this guy or slow him down. Give ourselves a chance here, because if he goes off, it's going to make it pretty hard for us to pull out 2 points out of Edmonton tonight.
Well, I look at this matchup and, hey, you're going to try to disrupt them. Obviously, they don't have an answer to the Oilers' power play when it's together, no question. But the Oilers, the last 2 games started, were not good, right? And now Boston wasn't, defensively, they weren't good. Offensively, they created chances, they just couldn't score. But the Philly game, I didn't like at all. Right? I forced myself to rewatch it because I watched it when I was out of town and with people around, it wasn't as good. And then I rewatched. I was like, God, I wish I hadn't rewatched it because there's not a lot of good things in that game. I want to go specifically to their defensive structure. Is it systemic? Do you believe? Are they supposed to be this passive, or they just play too passive at times?
I think we've seen this before when they had that incredible run of road games. Then they came home, they had some time off and a break, and they had some legit practices. So the last 2 days they've had practices. Now this morning was an optional. In those moments, you don't have to do 2 hours of defensive zone coverage or whatever you want to work on. It's a reminder to just tidy things up. So I think that, the practice time is so limited at the best of times, but this year even makes it worse. So I would fully expect the Oilers to be sharper in their own end and everything. It starts with where your guys are in the offensive zone, your choices of when to pinch and when not to pinch, the back pressure you get, how hard you make it to enter your zone. And then once you get it, it just carries on right into your own zone. So it all fits together. And I'd be blown away if they're not sharper tonight than they have been since Christmas. Because really, since Christmas, Greg, that part of their game hasn't been what we've seen before that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like they had those 10, 12 games that looked really good. And then, man, they're brutal. The last few defensively, not good at all. I didn't like it. I look at the Oilers and right now, like offense overall hasn't been an issue. Early, it's been like the last few games, it's been an issue. Like their second, even Draisaitl's line's done a whole lot of nothing. And now with Draisaitl and Nashville coming to town, maybe his eyes, open up like just huge, and he sees the net, and it's like. It's looking like it's a broadside of a barn. He's going to hit it very easily. But, what do you think of Kapanen? And is that just a very short-term spot with Draisaitl, or do you think he can stay there?
Well, I think he's trying to find something in his bottom 6. Now you have Savoy and Roslovic down there. Isaac Howard across from Roslovic, Henrique in the middle. Like it's, the kid line last week or last game, they're trying to find anything they can get going in that bottom 6 because there's not a lot going on there right now offensively, or even just energy-wise. Minutes have been a little bit, trickier at times for some of the guys on those lines. So I think he's trying to find something there. I would have liked to have seen Isaac Howard get an opportunity maybe in that spot beside Leon. So you have Pat Colton, you have Leon, and then Isaac Howard, or if Quinn Hudson was here. Just give him a chance, right? So they've given Isaac Howard somewhat of an offensive line here, 2 smart players that should be able to work together with Howard to create some offense, but they need to get more of that bottom 6, just time in the offensive zone and feeling better about themselves and creating identity. And that third line, Greg, we've seen all kinds of combinations in there. I think even you and I have had a couple games in the Oilers third line. Like, it's incredible. So they got to sort that out, and maybe it won't happen until they find a legit third line center through most likely, a trade later on in the year.
Or Nugent Hopkins goes there and they get a top 6 winger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you're going to do that though, maybe now would be the time to give that an opportunity, and then you squeeze someone up there. Does Isaac Howard fly up there and try that? You got to try different people out, but it doesn't seem like they want to give those guys that second or first line opportunity, which I guess, that's what he wants, but you're trying to figure out what everyone fits.
Jason Stradwick joins us here, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Oilers taking on the Predators tonight. And the Preds are playing better, Struds. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They got a lot of 1-goal victories, 5 to be exact, in that time span. And so eventually got to win some close games. But like, I still look at Nashville and I'm like, it's not a playoff team, right? And like, they're trying to retool on the fly, Struddy, and that doesn't work at all. It's like people who put more hair gel in their hair thinking it'll cover up their, the power alleys. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, not for everybody does it. Not for everybody. No, I don't think, what their problem is, Grace? They don't really have enough centermen, right? They signed a lot of guys that are wingers. Now, Riley's a good center, obviously, but, they're just not deep enough in that area. So when I look at this matchup for the Oilers tonight, I mean, Connor and Leon have got to be excited to play. Ryan O'Reilly's a really good player, don't get me wrong, but he can't play 45 minutes a night. So I think this team, you can love what Trotz did as a coach, but as a manager, he's left me wanting if I'm a Predators fan. And he's locked in some of these big contracts. Now they're talking about moving some of them out. And, I guess there'd be some opportunity there, but, he's got to improve his track record on what we've seen so far from him as a GM.
Yeah. When you look at Mangiapane and Frederic, I don't think Mangiapane is going to be here much longer. I think they're going to trade him because they're going to have to. They don't have the cap space. But how do you rehabilitate Frederic's season in your eyes?
Man, I've spent more time thinking about Trent Frederic than my own life and my own family. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen him play in Boston in the last couple of years, and I like the player. I really like the player. And when they acquired him, like, okay, well, he's hurt, and it's not ideal, but he's going to get better, and he's going to get healthy. And I remember interviewing him on this summer, and I'm feeling better. I'm back to normal. But we just haven't seen what I think the player's capable of. So, maybe you mishandled him right from the get-go, playing with Connor and Leon. That didn't feel like the right fit there. So maybe there's a bit of coach to blame. But this player has to get back to his basic roots of what he does. And I think finding him stability would be a start in the lineup. So pick a line. I don't care if it's a third or fourth line. You can call it line 5. I don't care what you call it. But give him some stability for 5 or 6 games so that he can hopefully get some consistency in line mates and then find some level of success with that line. Because right now I think he's moving around all the lines out of the lineup, and I think it's hard for him to find that consistency. So that requires patience from the coach to do that. So let's say they build up the fourth line. Let's say they decide it's Lazar, Mangiapane, and Trent Frederic. Roll with it for 5 games. But you're getting whatever X number of minutes every night. I'm going to put you out there. And if you have a good shift, we might double down just to get you, going again. And I know you're taking Connor Leon off the ice, but you need this guy to go. You need him to be part of the solution. Because right now, he and Mangiapane aren't even playing tonight, which, that's $7 million. And, I think it's a big challenge for the coaching staff, but they need him. They absolutely need him to be the best version of himself that we haven't seen so far.
Yeah, and Frederic's talked about it, Struddy. Hey, he's got to move his feet. I get it. But I don't know if you ever went through a period of your career, either yourself, Struddy, or someone you played with, you're like I watch Trent Frederic in practice right now, Struddy. And even just the pep and the jump in practice, when you don't have confidence, it's really noticeable. And I see it right now. I think the only way maybe to salvage the season for him is that 3-week Olympic break. Right? I don't care. Go to a beach, go somewhere, get away from it, and do anything to try to help yourself regroup. Because I don't know if it can happen before then. That might be the only time to really get him back on track.
Yeah, and going away is going to be a big reset for him. And maybe he needs to just start over again. I don't think we can also take out the human element of this, Greg, as far as the contract weighing on him. I saw it with Chris Drury. Chris Drury signed a massive deal. The 1 year, the Rangers had 3 massive signings: Scott Gomez, Chris Drury, and Jason Strudwick. And only one of us really lived up to the potential of the contract for the first year. And those 2 guys, especially Drew, was all over himself. I've got to do more. I've got to do more. I'm like, buddy, we didn't bring you in to be a 50-goal scorer. You're here to be a leader, to be a great two-way player, a winner, all those types of things. And so he kind of found his way after maybe halfway through the year, realizing he didn't have to be Jaromir Jagr or whoever. So I think for Trent, he's got to say, the money, this is the money I've got. Okay, I signed the contract. They pay me to be who I am, not who they think I can be. And who he is a guy that I agree. He has to move his feet better. I think he's a faster skater than he's shown. So whatever's limiting that, I'm not sure. But then just compete every shift. And we can talk about the fighting, you can talk about the hitting, but just competing, being in someone's face every shift as far as, battling for pucks, off face-off, all those types of things. He can elevate that and control that better than he has so far this year.
Yeah. And those are the things you have to control 100%. Like you can talk till you're blue in the face about moving your feet. Now, the other thing is, Stretty, it's the chicken and the egg. Is he going to be able to make an impact playing 8 or 9 minutes a night? Really hard. Right. And so
it's really tough.
Yeah.
That's a really tough thing to do. Right. And then you're just waiting for the coach to pull the rug out from underneath you because you're not going to play. So what is 8 or 9 minutes? Is that 10 shifts a game? Maybe 11 shifts a game. So break that down. That's 2, 3 shifts, 4 shifts a period. I mean, that's a long time in stretches. Now there's power plays, penalty, because you're not part of any of that. And that's a part of the problem too, is that, he's not part of any of the specialty teams. And I think that's a problem for him as well. Now, I'm not sure. I don't remember if he killed penalties or not in Boston, but can they find more minutes to get him more into the game so he can put his mark on a game more than he is now? But it's hard because the penalty kill, they're trying to figure that out. The power play, they're not changing a 33% power play. And the second unit's going to get out there a ton. So, where are these minutes coming from, right? If he's not performing the way he can 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's very true. Spready, what do you think the chances are the Giants can hire Harbaugh?
Oh, I saw that firing, and I honestly dropped on my knees, and I was pleased. Like, I don't ask for a lot. I don't even ask for my hair to regenerate. I don't even ask, even though it's not receding anymore. I would rather just please let Harbaugh go there. Please let him go and just build a program the way he built, 17, 18 years in Baltimore?
Yeah.
And be patient with him and let him groom. There's some good talent there, but I don't even want to, I saw Stefanski's on a flight to New York. I'm like, just don't let that plane get off the ground. We don't want that guy. We want Harbaugh. That's who we want.
How did you get your hair to stop regressing?
Just a lot of good wishes, prayers and good wishes.
Oh my God. I like how you tried to throw that one in there. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's true. Hey, Costanza, it's not a lie if you believe it. Okay.
100%.
Thanks, Johnny. Enjoy the game tonight. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
There you go. Jason Strudwick. Struddy's World and Got Your Back podcast. We'll return. We'll hear from Chris Knobloch. Some other, and then, we talked to Kurt Hill earlier today, a massive deal in the WHL to talk about next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates,
Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Every lunchtime, hang with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Low Tide and Declan Kruger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
This year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. See my confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all three by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancelia. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancelia.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Four 447, welcome back. Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of PlayAlberta.ca. Casinos, live dealer, lottery, instance, they got it all, including a 50 million Lotto Max and 2 Max Millions tonight. Get your tickets before 8:30 at PlayAlberta.ca. I was mentioning a big deal in the WHL. Well, he just finished playing for Canada at the World Juniors. Braden Coots from Sherwood Park has been traded from Seattle. He's going to the Prince Albert Raiders, going to a good team. So Coots goes there with a 4th rounder in 28, a 6th rounder in 26, and a conditional 2nd rounder. Here's who Seattle receives. Forward Ethan Bebo, who's playing with them right now. Then they've got prospects Knox Burton, Trip Fisher, Diego Gutierrez, a 1st-round pick this year, a 1st-round pick in 2028, a 2nd rounder this year, and a 3rd rounder next year. So that is a pretty big deal. The Raiders have pushed their chips all in. And them and the Oil Kings, who did meet in the playoffs last year, is a thrilling 7-game series. PA actually came back from a 3-1 deficit to win that series in 7. They are battling with Medicine Hat and the Oilers, 3 top teams in the East Division. And obviously they're trying to separate. You want to get that number 1 seed big time in the East because, you know, if you assume you're going to take care of business in the 1st round, then you don't have to meet one of those teams until the 3rd round. And it just makes a big difference. And that will be a benefit. So we'll see what happens. But that is a big deal. Hey, Greg, so do you know what Trent Frederic's ice time was in Boston? Well, I can pull it up fairly quickly if I look up the Bruins, and I'll just do it kind of like over a 3-year span. I think that would be a little bit better, like his last 3 years. Now he's an established NHLer, right? And he averaged 13 minutes a night. Now, if I go, because last year didn't have as great of a year. If I look at the other 2 years, he was at 13 minutes. Doesn't change. So, yeah, 13 minutes a night in Boston. Didn't penalty kill a ton. With the Oilers this season, Frederic's numbers his numbers down. So are his minutes. And it's the old chicken and the egg thing. He's at 11 minutes a game for the Oilers. So down 2 minutes a night, basically. And if you look at over the last month, it's obviously being a lot lower. So I do think there's, opportunity matters, no question. But it's like you still got to earn your opportunity. You can't just gift it. Now, some would say, hey, you committed to 8 years, maybe you just got to stick with it. And that's the battle. That's the battle. It's hard. I think if the Oilers were winning and Frederic was the only one struggling, you probably could play him because you could be like, well, we're winning. Everybody else is playing great. But when not everybody else is playing great, you're just trying to, put pieces together to try to get through the game and win some games. So maybe later in the year, if the Oilers start to find their way here and you come out of the Olympic break and maybe he's refreshed and you're like, hey, you know what? The Oilers had a really good January. Now they got a little bit of wiggle room. Maybe you can give them a few more minutes. But it's a fine balance, the old chicken and the egg theory for sure for them. Now, speaking of tonight's game, would you like to go to the game? Because we had one of our generous listeners couldn't go to the game and wanted to give it to now somebody who hasn't gone to a game this year. Okay? Just this season. You haven't gone to a game. Mom or dad and a kid. So like a father-son, father-daughter, mother-daughter, mother-son combination can go to tonight's game. Here's how you enter. 833-401-1440. Don't enter yet because you don't even know if you're going to do it. So you need to text in your favorite father, son, father, daughter, mother, son, mother, daughter. What would be your favorite players between the two of you? Okay. We're just going to do a random draw, but we need to know who are your two favorite players that you like cheering for together. 833-401-1440. Include your name and your email and spell your email correctly. Double check it. Okay. And then we'll pick a random winner and you'll be going to tonight's game. And oh, by the way, these are sweet seats. They are in the Sportsnet Club. Ooh. So pretty nice. Pretty nice. 833-401-1440. Who are your favorite combo players? 833-401-1440. And we'll pick someone during the break. And make sure you have your name and your email. If they're not all included, we can't pick you. Without rules, there's anarchy. So follow the rules. Take your time. It's not first in. It's just going to be a random draw. We'll put it in the old simulator. And they pick out and they spit out a number. And hopefully it's yours. So 833-401-1440 if you want to go to the game tonight. The Edmonton Oilers last night got a little bit of help on the out-of-town scoreboard. If you missed it, the Ducks losing again. The Ducks, man, and they are leaking goals. Now, there were some empty net goals in that game, but still, they gave up a 5 spot again. They're 2-6-2 in their last 10 games, and they have really, really hit the skids. They're now in the second wild card spot. Now, granted, they're only 1 point out of leading the Pacific. Vegas and Edmonton are at 46 points, excuse me. Seattle, LA, and the Ducks are all at 45. And then the San Jose Sharks, who have a game in hand on the Ducks, are at 43. So it's very tight in the Pacific. San Jose Sharks are 3 points out of first place. What the hell is going on in the Turtle Division? Because it is a slow race right now in the Pacific Division. There's no arguing that. It is not being great for the Pacific Division. But it's good news for the Oilers. They haven't played very well, but they are right in it. 40 games left. You have a good stretch of 40 games. You could win the division. It wouldn't even be that hard. Wouldn't be that hard at all. Right? Like right now, they're on pace 95 points. Would it 95 points would win the division? 95. Now, the pace will pick up. There's lots more Pacific against Pacific teams going at it, right? So there's more opportunities to win some games head to head, maybe some 3-point games because the league has been 3-point game all over the place. But the good news for the Oilers is despite being average, and let's be honest, and actually probably slightly below average, you've only won 20 of of 42 games this year. Because they're in their division, they are in a really good spot. They're in a really good spot. They just are. That's just how it is, right? Like if you look at regulation wins, how about that? The Edmonton Oilers are 11th in regulation wins right now in the NHL. There's been a lot of overtime victories, a lot of overtime losses. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. And they just want to say thank you for helping them feed over 500 families in 2025. They look back to helping out more in 2026. All the best to you from NorthgateGM.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers are in action tonight versus the Nashville Predators, 7 p.m. puck drop. Connor Ingram in the starter's net, but Tristan Jarry did skate today, and Andre Mangiapane, Trent Frederic, healthy scratches for this one. NHL will get going in about 5 minutes time here with 4 games: the Canucks and Sabres, Avs and Lightning, Ducks and Flyers, and the Dallas Stars and Carolina Hurricanes. Later tonight in the late game, we'll see Boston and Seattle out in Seattle. In the NBA, 6 games. 2 getting the action going in about 5 minutes time here: Cavs and Pacers, as well as the Magic and the Wizards. The late game in the league tonight will see the Dallas Mavericks in Sacramento to take on the Kings. 1 game in the AJ, Devon and Olds at the Old Sportsplex. Puck drop for that at 7 p.m. News in the sporting world, as the Baltimore Ravens have fired head coach John Harbaugh after 18 seasons with the team. In 18 seasons, John Harbaugh made the playoffs 12 times, won the division 6 times, won a Super Bowl, and only had 3 losing seasons. Other news involving the Edmonton Oil Kings: they have traded 2006-born defenseman Parker Elkos and a 3rd rounder in the 2026 CHL import draft, plus a 28 7th rounder in the WHL prospects draft to the Kelowna Rockets in exchange for a 1st-round pick in the 2026 CHL import draft and a 2026 3rd and 2027 second picks in the WHL prospects draft. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Derek Van Diest of NHL.com. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock, welcome back, Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson running things on our YouTube and Facebook page. So say hi. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be great. Be fantastic. We very much enjoy it. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game tonight. Oof, you could get in the money as well. How about $50 million up for grabs in Lotto Max and 2 Max Millions? Good luck at PlayAlberta.ca. And congratulations to Andrew D. Andrew, we go into the game tonight. We did the random draw. Many of you put your names in. We appreciate it very much. And Andrew was the lucky winner today. Andrew, check your email. The tickets have been sent. Enjoy the game tonight. You and your son. Should be a good time. Coming up, we got Chris Knobloch in a bit. We're also going to get to Mark Spector here in the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, underground infrastructure specialist, new pipelines, new sewer, water systems. That's what they do. Keep things flowing and moving. GS Construction. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
I am pretty good. I'm not as good as Leon Draisaitl is when it comes to facing the Nashville Predators, and I'm sure Draisaitl and his team are hoping that their recent trend, they're 13-1-1 in their last 15 games against the Preds.
Wow.
They've outscored them 66-38, and Draisaitl has 39 points himself. He's outscored the Predators just on his own in the last 15 games.
Yeah, I don't love those are facts, and that's the history. I don't love the way the Oilers are playing here. They're giving up.
They're not.
They're giving up 6 a night. So, if I'm Nashville and I'm looking at this thing, I'm saying, look, the odds are I got to beat these guys eventually. It's a perfect night to bring this thing to an end. And Nashville's playing well. They've been winning games. They've been on a long road trip here. And I don't think Edmonton gets, I hope the Oilers don't feel like, it's Nashville. We'll chuck our sticks over the boards and beat these guys like we always do. Because the way they're going right now, it's going to take a concerted effort to win. They got to pick their game up big time.
Oh, God, yeah. No. Well, that's what I'm like for Draisaitl, probably comes the perfect time. He hasn't played as well as he would like in the last 4 games for certain. And, he's only scored in 1 of his last 13 games. Now, he did score a hat trick in that game, but it is a kind of an extended now, he does have 20 points in 13 games, so it's not like he's playing terrible, but he's their leading goal scorer, right? So you normally want him to score goals. And trust me, he wants to score goals. He doesn't, he never kind of hides behind the fact that's his job. And I look at, he gets Kapanen and Podkolzin. And I remember Zach Hyman's first game back. Spec, what do you have, like 9 or 10 hits in his first game back? Like he was flying. I think we might see a similar performance. It doesn't mean it's points, but just energy coming from Kapanen. And I think the team is desperate for something.
Yeah, they're desperate for energy. They're for sure desperate for energy. They, a guy, if they got a guy that wants to run around a little bit, throw the body around, sure, that would be great. They don't, one of the guys that's supposed to do that's Frederic, and he's in the press box tonight, so he won't be checking anybody unless it's you or me. So yeah, any kind of energy for this team in a positive way. Like right now, they're, I'm not sure if they're lacking. I guess they are. They're lacking urgency. They're lacking battle level.
Mm-hmm.
Their battle level is poor. And they're not taking control of hockey games. They're leaving the game in the balance. And the last few games, the other team's taking control of it. They kind of stuck in there, and all of a sudden Philly's up 3-0. The Oilers didn't start playing until it was 3-0. So, they need a boost. They're in a funk. They're in a low point. We always overreact when they get down and lose a few, and we probably overreact when they win a whole bunch. But right now, there's just very little to like about their game. I don't think that's being too hard on them, is it?
Oh, God, no. And by the way, they haven't won a bunch or too much at any point this season, Spec. They are one of only 2 teams in the NHL who have yet to win 3 games in a row, and they might be the last one. If the Blues win tomorrow against Chicago, which is very plausible, the Oilers would be the final team in the NHL to win at least 3 games in a row, which is absolutely
that's not nothing. That's not nothing.
No, it's not. Like they're lucky they're in the Turtle division right now.
Yeah.
They are. That's just, and hey, that's good. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Good to be lucky to be good. And it means that they just have to have a good second half, and they can win the division and get home ice advantage and avoid Colorado and Dallas and Minnesota until the 3rd round.
Yeah, I think we've all been around this team enough. We know where their standards are. We know what the way they have to play to win rounds. And it's really, to me, it's always, I don't care where they finish in terms of they got to make the playoffs. Last year, they had home ice advantage. They didn't have home ice advantage in the first 3 rounds. They won all 3 rounds. They had home ice advantage in round 4 and lost it. So I don't even care about home ice advantage. And I don't think the Oilers do much either. You just have to be playing a certain way. There's certain things that have to happen, and your game has to have certain attributes if you're going to beat anybody. If you're going to beat anybody in a playoff round, your game has to have certain attributes, and they've got lots of time. They got 40 games here left to put this thing together. They got a trade deadline. They got hopefully a trade or 2 to make. And right now they're in a little funk, and that's fine. It's going to happen. But there are certain things. I'm less worried, Jay, about where they finish in their division, and far more concerned about, are you going to be playing the way you need to be playing when the tournament starts? That to me is all that matters.
No. That is valid. They definitely, where you finish ultimately doesn't. I still think, though, historically, if you look at, I know that, Florida didn't have home ice advantage, but, they're defending champs. It's very rare do you meet the defending champ in the Stanley Cup final, right? But home ice advantage historically is an advantage. That's why it's called home ice advantage. And less travel, lots of things that can all add up here or there. I think Edmonton would like to finish first. And honestly, there's not that many good teams in their division. They should finish first. Like, if you don't finish first in the regular season, I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on? Like, how good can you be playing if you can't beat out Vegas the way they're going? Definitely not Anaheim. Like, Anaheim's going the wrong direction fast, right? San Jose is a great story, but they're not that good. The LA Kings, I don't think, are that good. Seattle, somehow they're 7-0-1. They can't score at all, but they win games. It's an amazing thing to see. So good for them. And they've gotten a little bit of a heater here right now. And that's all you need. You need a heater in the Pacific, and you can go from 6th to 2nd in a blink of 2 weeks.
Well, this was the home ice. This was the month of home games that's supposed to set the Oilers up for the rest of the season. And it's not too late to get started down that trail. So they lost a couple games. Big deal. They got a whole bunch left. Let's hope we're not having this conversation a week from now, 2 weeks from now, right? This is give them credit for their first half. They had the wicked hard first half, and they came out of that first half in first place at New Year's. And now the table's set to solidify a lead on this division and set yourself up for the post-Olympic break and be ready to, go in the playoffs with everything going your way. So let's go. Here it is. It's sitting right in front of you. It's there for the taking, man. You can't ask for anything more than what they got looking them in the face right now.
Yeah. Oh, no question about it. You look at now they made the roster shuffle. I predicted it yesterday. Kapanen comes on. They moved Jari to LTIR just because they were basically $100,000 short to put Kapanen on. So Jari would be eligible to come off for anybody wondering next Monday against Chicago. I don't think he'll be ready then, but then so this is not hurting them. It gives them some time. And even if Wallman plays Monday, they could just activate Wallman because they have the cap space with Jari on LTIR. But once Jari's ready, Spec, which my understanding is might be probably, by the 17th or 18th, and Mangiapane's got to be moved by then. The money doesn't work anywhere else. It's got to be moved.
Well, they're in it. I mean, they keep getting injuries, and there's no law that says they won't keep getting injuries. So maybe they never, maybe the chicken never comes home to roost here on the cap situation. If there's always going to be a guy out, you can always throw someone on LTI and do all the things they're doing. At some point, if they get everybody healthy, Stan Bowman's got to figure something out here. And, getting rid of, you don't just snap your fingers and get rid of $3.6 million on your cap, right? It's not that easy. You can snap your fingers and get rid of 1.1 by sending them to the minors. But, the other $2.5 million, I don't know how he's going to deal with that. That's what he gets paid to do, I guess. It's awfully tough to sign a guy on July 1st and be trading him on Feb 1st. That's a tall order. But I guess that's why Stan gets the big bucks, huh?
It happens, buddy. It wouldn't be the first one. Like, I'm a big believer. Like, people are going to make mistakes and evaluations all the time, right? A trade doesn't work out.
Yep.
The biggest problem is when you compound your issue by being stubborn and say, oh, you know what? We're just going to stick with him. It's not working, right? It didn't work with Arvidsson. It didn't work with Skinner. It's not working with him. They're all kind of the same players in my books. It's not going to work, right? So, and then financially, you have to make a move. Now that you've acquired Jari, you have to make a move. Like now, Trent Frederic, do I think that he has a lot of trade value? I do not. He's got 8-year deals, so no. But I still look at the Oilers, and they feel like in Frederic's case that at least he has something that if he finds his game again is something they don't have, which is size and some physicality, which he played with in Boston. He's not playing with any right now, but I don't think that part of his game is evaporated, that he can't hit anybody. He suddenly isn't sick. He's not like he's 5'9" suddenly. He's still 6'3", right?
Sure.
So those things could come about again. Whereas Mangiapane, it's a short-term deal. It's not working, and it doesn't really offer anything that they really need, to be blunt.
Well, sure. So how are you going to trade him? How are you going to eliminate that 3.6?
There's lots of guys. Spec, we do a laundry list of players we thought would never be traded. They got traded. Happens all the time. So guess what? GM, do your job. Find a partner.
Well, okay. Are you going to give up a first-round pick with him?
You don't have to give up a first.
What are you going to give up with him? You're going to give up a second-round pick with him? The premise of this trade is, Jay, you can't take cap space back, right?
That's well, you could take $1 million back realistically. Somebody that you put in the minors, you could do that. But yeah, you're right. You're not taking big money, but guys get traded all the time. Spec that people are looking for future considerations, right, or something
future
like that.
Considerations is nothing, and you get rid of the cap space.
Yeah,
I think that if Stan had that trade yesterday, he'd make it yesterday.
Do it, sure. Yeah, but
I don't think that. I don't listen. We're in the predictions business. My prediction is you can't move Mangiapane for futures and not put in a big fat sweetener or take back money, right? Sure, Anaheim wants to trade you Ryan Strome. He makes $5 million. He's got 15 points. So that's the kind of deal he's getting right now. I'll be surprised if they just move that 3.6 this year and next and don't have to take stuff back and don't have to throw a bunch of good stuff in. Sorry, man. I don't see it coming. Maybe you do. I don't see it coming.
I'd be shocked if Mangiapane, I think there's lots of teams spec that would be willing to move to take him. I don't think you're going to have to give a huge sweetener. I do think you'll probably have to retain something in lower salary in return, and then they move from there. But I'll say January 22nd. Before then, he's dealt.
Okay, and the parameters of this deal is what? The Oilers will retain salary?
No, God, no. I don't think they're retaining salary.
So what are we taking back? They're taking back only $1 million?
Yeah, give or take. You'd probably save $2 million, something like that, close. On the cap, and in the deal. Plus, they'll have to give up something. But I don't think it has to be a major sweetener. I'm sorry. I don't think they have to give up a second rounder here.
Okay, well, I'll be interested to see if he can pull that off. That'll be some pretty suave GMing.
Yeah, there are teams that will look and say, "Hey, we think Andrew Mangiapane can help us." Just because it didn't work somewhere doesn't mean it can't work the next place, right? Like, look at Arvidsson in Boston; he's played well. Like, it's just some places it doesn't fit, and there's always someone who, one man's treasure is another man's garbage. One man's treasure, another man's garbage. Happens all the time. So
yeah.
I won't be surprised. This is not a trade where, oh my God, you're going to have to, you got to give a first to take him. Like, it's not that much money. It's only one.
I don't think it's a first round pick.
I don't even think it's a second, to be honest.
Remember, Mangiapane had an awful year last year too. This isn't the first year he's had a poor year.
Well, actually, his points per 60 was actually pretty good. He didn't play a lot of minutes, but he still scored 12, 13 goals, basically playing your fourth line. Right? He just didn't have he didn't have
28 points last year.
Yeah.
How many games did he play?
On the fourth line. That's
why was he on the fourth line?
Because Washington had all their guys in their top line were producing. Go look at their team.
Because he couldn't make the top line. That's what you're telling me. Right?
Yeah, well,
signs here as a free agent to be a top six player. He can't make the top six. They play on the fourth line. He gets 28 points.
Yeah.
He had an awful year, and they cut him loose. They didn't want him back. So, no, sorry. You can't sugarcoat the year he had in Washington last year. He stunk, and he stinks this year. You think there's a bunch of teams lining up for this guy? Oh, boy, I'd love to see him.
Well, you watch, Spec. You watch. There's not a lot of guys out there that teams are always willing to give guys, who've scored. If you're a 15 to 20 goal scorer, Spec, there's lots of teams looking for 50. Heck, the Oilers are looking for 15 or 20 goal scorers. He's just not one here, right? Like, it doesn't fit into how they play, right? People are saying Skinner was more skilled. No, when I talk about the fit, they hold on to the puck too long. Other teams it can work with. It doesn't work if you want to play them in your top six in Edmonton, wingers who hold on to the puck too long. It does not work. It's been proven.
You'd think after 2 years you'd be able to figure that out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think so. But sometimes, you know what? Hey, I don't know what happens with guys. Maybe he moves the puck quicker when he's somewhere else. I have no idea. But it hasn't worked here. And, we'll see what happens. But I think there's, Spec, what about, I look at a team now that they don't have a lot, but they got a ton of cap space. And I wonder if they're desperate enough. Like, the Winnipeg Jets are having an awful season, but they can't just rebuild. All their guys are signed. Like, they can't just rebuild that. So I look at the Jets and, I wonder about them. Like, would they say, hey man, we'll take a flyer on a guy, because we can, we're losing Gustav Nyquist next year. So whatever, we'll take the salary this year to try to get something to salvage this season. I think it's probably too late, to be honest. I think they're too far gone to catch that many teams. Now, again, I could be wrong. Maybe they're the St. Louis Blues of 2026.
Nah, I doubt it.
On the heater, I agree. I doubt it, but that's probably what they're telling themselves, right?
Yeah, I would think if I'm Kevin Cheveldayoff, I'll take a run at Mangiapane for sure. But I'm probably going to get Nyquist is done after this season. I'm probably going to say you got to take him back, and that doesn't help the Oilers any.
It doesn't help the Oilers at all, because it saves them like $350,000 in cap.
I know. And that's the kind of offers that Stan's getting right now. We've had this conversation. We're done with it. I don't know if he's going to be able to just get rid of that cap space as easily as you think he will. Maybe you're right. You know what? Maybe you're right.
We'll see. John Cooper, Spec, coach's 1,000th game, got the big ceremony. Leon Draisaitl is going to have his ceremony with his family in town this Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
You look at John Cooper, and he's never won a Coach of the Year award. And I look at Tampa Bay and all the changes they've made. They've had some injuries this year. They're sitting there. They win their division. Do you think is he a finalist like Jared Bednar? I think is going to be a finalist. You think Cooper would finally be a finalist?
Oh, for sure he should be, because I think Jared Bednar's team, when we went into the season, we looked at him and said, this is a really top team and they should be right at the top of the Western Conference and they're a cup contender. I'm not sure we said that about Tampa when the season started, that they would be able to win their division. So it's one thing when Cooper was winning cups, that team was so good. The guy that coaches that team almost never wins a Jack Adams. Glenn Sather never won a Jack Adams in Edmonton because people looked at his roster and said,
no, didn't he? I thought he won one, but I
don't think he did.
No,
I don't think he did. I mean, call me wrong, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, he won it in 86.
He won it in 86 when they didn't win the cup.
Yeah, but it's all based on the regular season.
I know. So he did. So I stand corrected. He won one, but he won 5 cups here, or at least I shouldn't say that. He won 4 cups, or I guess he was co-coach
as a head coach. Yeah,
as head coach. Yes. But anyway, my point would be that Cooper has a better chance of winning the trophy to me this year than he did when they were winning cups, because they were such a dominant team coming out of the gates. We all knew how good they were. Their roster was fantastic. He's doing a hell of a job with his team, and they've had a bunch of injuries this year. So sure, Coop's a hell of a good coach. He's a great guy. He's a great story. Came out of nowhere, started at the very bottom of the coaching ladder, man, like in Nowheresville, and worked himself up to be the head coach of Team Canada, of all things. So good for him. But Draisaitl's going to be, is it Saturday against LA? They'll celebrate his 1,000th point, correct?
Yes, on Saturday, because they wanted to do it with his family around, and obviously due to being in Germany, they just couldn't, drop everything. As Peter told me when I interviewed him for Leon's 1,000th point, he's like, "Hey man, I got a job." He's still working in hockey. Sandra works, so they were able to plan it, and now they'll come in. They're coming in. I think they arrive on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, the dad's trip. The Oilers do a dad's trip in Chicago and Nashville.
Okay, so it's coming in for that.
Coming in for that, so they'll kill 2 birds, right? That's a great idea. And then, barring anything unforeseen, Nugent Hopkins on, I believe it is January 18th against St. Louis, celebrates his 1,000th game as well.
Yes, so a few celebration games coming up. Spec,
boy.
We'll enjoy the game tonight. We'll see what the Oilers got against Nashville. They need a much better effort and a much better start than they had against the Flyers.
Yeah, and much better goaltending. We're all watching Connor Ingram tonight. One bad game in a row, that's fine. It's going to happen. Let's see if he has a bounce back in him tonight. That's going to be a big part of whatever happens here.
You betcha. Spec, we'll see you at the rink.
All right.
It's a Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, 5:23. We'll take a quick break. DVD. We'll be back. A lot of text. What do you guys think? Mangiapane. Do you think you have to give up that? Honestly, I don't think you do. You're not going to get much. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think you might get anything. But I don't think you have to add as much sweeteners as people are thinking. I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I view it. Take a quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Hockey Super League is proud to launch its 9th season, delivering independent, borderless hockey. This year, over 125 teams will compete across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and for the first time ever, Colorado, USA, with showcase-style action, cross-province rivalries, and a strong commitment to player development. The HSL is the premier destination for families seeking balance and athletes chasing the next level. The Hockey Super League. Hockey without limits. For athletes born in 2013 to 2018, visit hockeysuperleague.com to learn more.
Help your body manage stress with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Plus. This liquid formula is fortified with nutritional yeast, providing B vitamins for stress reduction and probiotics for intestinal health. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. My confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all three by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancelia. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancelia.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at sherbrooke.liquor.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5.27. Hey, Greg's. If Holland could trade Lucic in his ridiculous contract, Bowman can trade Mangiapane from JC. Like I said, man, there's lots of players with contracts over the years that people thought were untradeable, and they were much worse contracts than 3.6 mil. So, now, not saying it's easy, but it's one where, you know what? You put enough feelers out, you dig around enough. I think that would, that is something that definitely will happen. And frankly, I just got to look at the salary cap. It has to happen. Like, the Oilers don't really have a choice. Now, that makes it even harder of a trade to make, but that's the reality. Being a GM isn't an easy job. Stan Bowman knows it. He's got a lot of experience. He'll figure it out. But the only way they don't have to make a move when Jari returns, which is still probably 2 weeks away, is if somebody making 3 or 3+ gets injured enough and can go on LTIR. Otherwise, you just simply have to do it. You have no choice. You have to be cap compliant. And they don't have enough guys. You can't send a guy to the minors because, you know, people are like, first of all, you can't send Frederic to the minors. He has no movement clause. Number two, if you do send Mangiapane to the minors, you only save $1.15 million. So he would still be a $4.85 million contract. Right? So still a lot. So a deal's going to have to happen. That's why there's a salary cap, baby. You got to make it work. 5:29. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. It's a new year. Do you need a new ride? You've been thinking about it, waiting, searching. Well, no better place to look. GoAuto.ca. Over 15,000 vehicles to choose from. 67 locations, one near you. Get you a great ride. Check it out. GoAuto.ca. It's Derek Van Diest From NHL.com, joins us for the first time in 2026. DVD, how you doing, my man?
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Hey, I'm excellent. I see that Oil Kings jersey in the background. Man, the WHL, the big dogs, and you've covered it back in your days in Medicine Hat. You got the Tigers, you got the Oil Kings, you got the Raiders. They're all looking to make moves. They're all really good teams. The Raiders just went out and got Coots from Vancouver pick, of course, from Sherwood Park. He goes to the Raiders for, four young players and 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder. And, the Oil Kings have already made some moves. I wonder if this is Kurt Hill's like, geez, I might have to load up again here in the next 3 days.
It's funny. I talked to him yesterday. I saw him in his office there when we were down at the rink, and we were chatting about it. And, I think he may have to make some big moves. I don't know. It wasn't like when the Oil Kings won the championship, like they were the best team in the league. And then they went out and got Justin Shorthoff at the deadline and made them even better. I think had they not won, it would have been a big upset had they not won the league that year. But, now there's 4 or 5 teams in contention. The Tigers are good again. They were the best team in the league last year, and they're playing great again this year. So, yeah, it's always interesting and that the trade deadline comes so early in the Western Hockey League. You have to have your team by the first week of January or get it set. It's set on Thursday, and that's your team. And you go with it when you still have, 30-some games left to play, or I think, or something like that. So it's going to be interesting to see because you know how it is in junior. You can't basically sell the farm and then not win, and then you're back into a rebuild mode. And the Oil Kings are kind of just gotten out of that rebuild mode. They're a competitive team, and they're very competitive this year. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. But some of the big moves are already made, and then it's just a matter of what people do after that.
Well, the Oil Kings, the Raiders, they're all going to make moves. Everett too, and only one of them can win, and that's what makes it challenging. So you just gotta, and the Oil Kings will be good. They're losing some Euros. They did make a trade today. I don't even know if you noticed it, but they actually got a first rounder in the European draft in that deal. So while they're adding, for this year, they're also because they have so many players and have had some injuries. They got some guys coming back. They were able to move out a player to get a first round pick and then in the European draft, and they're losing all 3 of their Euros. So now they have 2 picks in the first round. So that should help them kind of restockpile the European players for next season. Now,
that'll help. That'll help definitely.
Now moving to the Oilers, DVD, they got to play way better. And maybe Nashville's the perfect tonic for them. They're 13-1-1 in their last 15 against the Preds. They've dominated them to the tune of like 66-39. Draisaitl's outscored the Preds himself in those 15 games with 39 points. And, obviously I would think he's feeling pretty good about it. He has every time. He probably just sees that Nashville Union is just like, okay, it's going to be a goal night tonight for me for sure. But the Oilers, they've had 2 days off. They had a good practice yesterday. Sometimes that extra day off seems to help this team. We'll see how they respond after a very subpar effort on Saturday.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all. And they're playing a Preds team that's playing pretty well, actually. I think the Predators are 7-3-1 or 7-3-0 in the last 10 games. Stamkos has kind of found his groove again. He scored some goals after going, I think, 1 goal in the first 14 games or something like that. I had a great chat with him this afternoon down at practice. He didn't skate at practice yesterday. He blocked a shot in Calgary, so he took the practice off, but he wanted to get on the ice today, and he was out there for about 10 minutes just checking out the ankle and the foot, and it looks like it's fine. But, yeah, I was down there with Jim Matheson of Post Media, and, yeah, we chatted with him for about 10 minutes. It was great. He was talking about just being 36 and still trying to keep that game at an extremely high level. You're seeing a lot of guys do that. You see Crosby do that. Ovechkin's doing that. A lot of guys are playing into their mid-30s, late 30s, and they're still playing at an incredible level. And it's all about work ethic, he said. Just come in, you got to put in the work, you got to put in the effort. And he's been a real good influence in that room. We were talking to Reed Schaefer yesterday about it. And the guys see that the oldest guy in the room is working the hardest. So you got to figure I better get out there and work the hardest as well. And he got his 600th goal the other night. And he's every player that's ever scored 600 goals, with the exception of the 2 guys that are still or 3 guys that are still playing, Crosby, Ovechkin, and Stamkos, have made it into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Jari Kurri has 601, so you can get 601 today here in Edmonton and maybe surpass Jari Kurri today.
Well, yeah, I think by the end of this season, you know what, he's going to pass Curry, he's going to pass Bobby Hall, he's going to pass Dino Ciccarelli. They're all 601, 608, and 610, respectively. He's only the 22nd player all time. Yeah, he's a lock I think, to make the Hockey Hall of Fame for sure.
Mhm.
He was off to a slow start. He does have 6 goals in his last 8 games. He's playing better. The biggest change for the Preds in their first 31 games, their penalty power play was brutal at 17%. In their last 10 games, it's 30%. And funny enough, DVD, their power play took off when their leading goal scorer got hurt on the power play, and Jonathan Marchessault. It's like, I don't know if they were trying to go to him too much or whatever. And I got to talk to some guys in Nashville, but their power play has taken off here the last 10 games.
Yeah, we talked to Andrew Burnett today, and he said that they wanted, Stamkos still has that big one-timer on the power play, and so they want to get him the puck more. And I think they're looking at doing that right now. Kind of like the Oilers like to get the puck to Leon Draisaitl, down the goal line for his one-timer. I think the Predators look for Stamkos in that same situation. But, we asked him about the slow start, and he said, Stamkos said he just had to find that feeling again, find that groove. Burnett said that, what Burnett said is that it was a different team than they left in Tampa here in Nashville. So you have to kind of get used to a different system, different team, different way of doing things. But he said, Stamkos said he's taking the puck to the net more than he was before. He's not as a perimeter player as maybe he was in Tampa. And I think that's paying off for him right now.
Yeah, no question. I was talking to Spec. I think Mangiapane's dealt by within the next, what date I say? January 22nd, I think it was. Because I'm just looking at the cap and when Tristan Jarry is going to come back. I don't think they're going to have to give up a ton. I don't think they're going to get a lot in return, DVD.
Yeah.
Not by any stretch of imagination. But I don't think they got to do a huge sweetener. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a team out there that maybe is on the bubble that might look for a little bit more offense and hope that maybe he can provide it. The problem is that, when you want to get rid of a $6 million player that he is, sometimes you have to take salary back. I remember you talking to Ken Holland about that, and it's money in, money out. Obviously, this is the case where they have to move this contract to bring Jarry back in when he comes off the long-term IR. So they're going to have to figure out, do something. And it might be a case of, okay, you scratch my back this year and maybe down the road, I'll owe you a favor type thing. I know that happens a lot in among circles in the NHL. So yeah, it didn't work out. Mangiapane is not the player that the Oilers were hoping that he would be. They're hoping to be a top 6 guy. They're hoping that he would score some goals. They're hoping that he'd be that gritty, pain in the butt guy to play against. And he really hasn't been that. He just hasn't found a groove here. He hasn't found an identity here. And it's tough sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't work out. But that doesn't mean that if he goes to another team where he may get some power play time, he may get some more top 6 minutes, that it wouldn't work out. And this is a guy that's shown in the past that he can score, and if he's put in the right situation, maybe he'll succeed. And I think maybe that's what the Oilers and obviously Mangiapane's agent and whoever is trying to facilitate this trade, he looks at and say, okay, what team would he be a really good fit? And let's convince that team that, yes, he'll be a good fit there and he'll help you out, especially one of those teams on the bubble. There's so many teams in contention for playoffs right now. And I think it means a lot to get in there. So I think there are some potential buyers out there for him. Just a matter of finding the right one.
Yeah. Well, and there's always going to be ones, like I look at the Ducks. The Ducks had a great start to the season. They're a team that was like, man, we want to get to the playoffs. They're not cup contenders yet, but they just want to get in. And now they've fallen really on hard times. And, there's rumblings, Edmonton and Anaheim. Could they make a deal? And, the Ryan Strome to Edmonton, I don't think it makes a boatload of sense realistically. Well, definitely not for Mangiapane because they're adding money to it. And so, I know some people say, well, Mangiapane and Henrique, but that's only 6.6 for $5 million. It still doesn't work because Edmonton's got to free up around, 3.5 million bucks once Jarry comes back to be cap compliant. And so, but there's going to be lots of options here. I think for the Edmonton Oilers, and sometimes it's surprising on what they want to do. I don't know if they move out Henrique because they don't have enough centers as it is. Like, I think Adam Henrique is miscast as a third line center now. I think if he's a fourth line center, people's expectations of him change a lot.
Well, they do, but I do think he's still got to provide some offense here. Like, he's gotten really bone dry. And yes. I know that there's a lot of games where you don't even notice he's on the ice. He does a lot of good things away from the puck. I get that. He's pretty responsible defensively. He'll win some faceoffs for you, but I do think that they would like a bit more offense out of him. This is a guy that has offense in him. He's just hasn't been able to get it going this season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down the road if what they do with him or what they, if they decide to keep him and what situation they play him in. But I agree with you. He's probably a fourth line center on this team right now, not a third line center, and that's probably why things are going the way they are.
Yeah. No, I would totally agree. DVD, we'll see you at the rink, my man. Have a good one.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Derek Van Diest. Hey, how about this? Ryan McLeod, shorthanded goal, has scored 6 shorties in his 120 games. The Sabres are tied for the most by a Sabres skater in their first 120 games with Mike Pekka. So Ryan McLeod, and hey, the Buffalo Sabres, they won 10 in a row. And now, obviously, they weren't going to win every game, but they're off to a good start tonight with 2 goals. Tage Thompson is 21st. McLeod has his 8th of the season, shorthanded, and they lead the Canucks 2-0. And hey, don't count out the Canucks on as a team to look for in deals too, because they're going to be moving out guys, man. Like they're brutal, and that's okay. They should be brutal. You get to a point where you should be a bad team. It benefits you, no question. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll hear from Chris Knobloch on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood, oodle, nood, oodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Yeah, waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
If you're looking for nonstop sports coverage, tune into Sports 1440. It's only sports radio station.
24/7 coverage comes at you with expert commentary, in-depth analysis,
And so much more.
We are Sports 1440.
Reduce joint pain and inflammation with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Gel Caps, packed with a perfect ratio of omegas 3, 6, and 9 to support optimal health. Find this vegan, gluten-free formula at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Winter snow and ice are nothing to fear when the Lawnmower Hospital's in your corner. Keep pathways clear of snow with the Echo PB770T backpack blower. Or go even bigger with the huge PB9010T. Right now, buy select commercial walk-behind BCS sweepers and get the Echo PB9010T for free. The Lawnmower Hospital has pet-safe, plant-safe ice melt too. Visit lawnmowerhospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
wrap things up here in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the 2-minute warning. Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair. It's never let him slow him down. He's always wanted to be on radio, and now he is. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
All this week, we're talking about how amateur sports are covered by traditional MISA. And on Friday, we'll tell you why, with an exciting project we're embarking on. Amateur athletes own their narrative now. Social media dominates. 5.6% engagement crushes traditional media's reach. Why? NIL money. Athletes are brands. TikTok bypasses geography. A kid in small-town Alberta goes global overnight without touching mainstream press. 85% of college recruiters scout social profiles first, personality over stats. They're evaluating cultural fit before making offers. Fans want the grind, the comeback, the 5 a.m. practice. Vulnerability content gets 4 times more shares than game highlights. Real-time beats 24-hour newspaper delays every time. Bottom line, athletes control their destiny now. Now, radio. An online report says 39% of fans tracking amateur athletics. Smart stations capitalize through Friday night Game of the Week broadcasts, player profiles, and grassroots sponsorships. This hyper-local strategy creates tribal loyalty no national franchise can touch. Hometown heroes trump distant stars, delivering engaged audiences advertisers crave and communities celebrate. In our daily poll today, we asked you, and only you, where you get amateur sports coverage. 1.5% said television. 28.5% said a team website. The big one here, 56.9% said social media. And this is the one we find interesting. 13% said radio. And tomorrow, we're going to explore that even more. 2-minute warning Kruger, Gregor, good old Donnie Peamy, Tater Sports, 1440.
Tater's very good. This is like a week-long tease on what's going to come out on Friday. Solid stuff. Tater, I like it. Let's get to Chris Knoblauch, and of course, you know it's a big story because when you have that much money in the press box as healthy scratch, it's not ideal. Just over $7 million in cap space, 3.6 Mangiapane, 3.85 for Frederic. And he was asked kind of what's gone wrong with Mangiapane and Frederic.
Yeah, things haven't worked out, and not that it's over, but yeah, I think that one, we've felt that they haven't played as we've expected, and I think that there's more for them to give us. But also, we've got some young guys that have deserved to get some opportunities to play. And Hudson was here. Obviously, he's not here now, but Howard being in the lineup. Lazar, who has been a scratch for the last couple games, had been playing, you know, his last game was in Winnipeg, played really well, and then came out and, you know, we got a lot of guys who can play the bottom six, and right now we're just wanting more from those guys, and a little bit of a reset for those.
Well, a little bit of a reset. It's probably got to be a big reset, I think, to be honest. Was it fit? What else could it be that has led to, you know, to both of them in the press box and both of them not producing it the way I think they hoped or the organization hoped?
You see players go from team to team, and sometimes it's fit, sometimes it's not. And you look at Roslovic and you think about how well that's been a fit for us, and you look at his scoring is at a high. And other guys have come and we've had high hopes, and it hasn't worked out as well as we wanted to. And it's just, there's a lot of factors, and, you know, a lot of off-ice factors, on-ice factors, and, you know, how the coach deploys them, a lot of things. And, you know, I don't think there's a certain recipe, or there's not one answer for each player. Yeah, we need to, those two players who aren't playing tonight are part of our team, and we got to find a way to have them contribute.
As a coach, how difficult is it on you when you got to bench veteran guys, who are free agent signs? How does that factor in?
Piece of cake. No problem at all. Stan and I talk, and he understands what goes on in the dressing room and the decisions I have to make. And I absolutely understand the things that he does, and he's looking more long-term and what our team needs. And, all our decisions we make, whether it's Stan calling somebody up or sending somebody down, or me putting somebody in the lineup, we're always talking about what's best for our team, short-term and long-term. And I think we're try and work those things out, and not that every decision we're making is the best one, but I think the more communication we have, and we have a lot of it, hopefully we are on the right side more often.
Well, they got to be. And you know what? They're going to need some of those guys to get going. It's just a fact, right? Like, I don't think you can win with that many rookies in the lineup, so they need to get them going. Getting Kapanen back in the lineup tonight should help them. What about Howard, who, of course, tonight's going to play with Henrique and Roslovic, maybe some more offensive guys. Howard himself talked about how he's a little bit more relaxed this time around. What's he need to see from the youngster?
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight, excellent opportunities on line with Roslovic. Roslovic's a pretty good offensive player, and not that they'll be sitting in a shutdown role. It is a tricky, fine line. You want those players to be in a position to succeed and play in more of a scoring opportunity. But it's also tough that you're, playing with those players, you're in a top six, and you're also playing against other teams' best players. And are you quite ready? So, I think Howie's got a lot of potential. He's going to be a great player for us. And, whether that's, his recall right now or weeks down the road or months, whatever it is, I think he'll be a big part of the Oilers organization for a while.
And lastly, an update on Tristan Jarry.
Jarry returning roughly about 2 weeks. He's been on the ice a little bit. He's been getting some shots, first just pretty much on his own. He's had a few shots with players on the ice with him, but I would say about 2 weeks.
So there you have it. Kind of what I had said earlier, around the 20th. 18th, 17th, they got some back-to-backs. You might get him in there, maybe get him in after that. And so in between time, you look at Connor Ingram, and a guy who's got now he's played well his first 3 games, and you know what? Last game wasn't the game he wanted, so he'll be looking for a bounce-back effort tonight against the Nashville Predators, as the Oilers just looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak on home ice early on. In the tight Pacific Division, they're getting some help. The Flyers leading the Ducks 2-1. Man, the Ducks are in a little bit of a free fall here. The Sabres up 2-0 on the Canucks. You have, it doesn't really impact them, I guess. If you think that they can catch Dallas somehow for seeding later on, the Stars are losing to the Hurricanes tonight. And other games in the East, in the West, the Golden Knights are in Winnipeg to take on the Jets. And the suddenly red-hot Kraken host the Boston Bruins. And the Kraken, I'll be honest, man, I am shocked, stunned. Like, the Kraken looked like they had nothing, and now suddenly they're 7-0-1 in their last 8 games. I did not see that coming. The other story to watch will be the injury here to Taves. Taves is out again tonight for Colorado. Same with Landeskog, and also Blackwood's not dressed in that game. It's Wedgwood, and Tampa Bay is leading 1-0. Could Colorado lose consecutive games in regulation? Would only be the first time, only the 4th all year, but you never know. Tune in. We got the pregame show coming up with Walker and Paulson. Have yourselves a lovely Tuesday. Enjoy the game, pregame, and then, of course, the postgame show. Here's Declan Cougar. One final time, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Ewell, your partner in power since 1975. For all your electrical gear, think Ewell, EWEL.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, of course, for the Edmonton Oilers. Nashville Predators in town. 7 p.m. puck drop pregame coverage going to going in about 5 minutes time here. Connor Ingram in the starter's net. And if you didn't hear it earlier, Andre Mangiapane and Trent Frederic both healthy scratches. In the NHL right now, Sabres lead the Canucks 2-0 at the end of the first. Lightning up on the Avs 1-0 at the same mark. Flyers lead the Ducks 2-1. Hurricanes 3-1 over the Stars. Islanders lead the Devils 2-0 in the first period. And the Panthers and Maple Leafs scoreless. Just 2 games in the NBA right now. The Wizards lead the Magic 44-38. And the Pacers lead the Cavs 48-45. AJ, we'll see one game between Devon and Olds at 7 p.m. at the Olds Sportsplex. And news around the NFL world is John Harbaugh is out as the Ravens head coach. After 18 seasons, John Morton has been fired by the Detroit Lions after just 1 season as offensive coordinator, and the Washington Commanders relieving both Cliff Kingsbury and Joe Witt from their coordinator roles. Elsewhere in the NHL, the New York Rangers have placed Igor Shesterkin on IR and Fox on LTIR. I'm Declan Kruger, this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The new double cheesy